at that. That's a series dub, my friends.
Doomer likes what he saw.
Doomer. I'm not going to be the doomer. I never doom, Ben. It's an emotional condom for me. That's what I do. I cover myself in emotional rubber, like a Trojan.
You put armor on to shield your feelings from getting hurt or disappointed by your baseball team.
That's right. You finally get it. You finally understand what your old pal Woodsy's all about. Welcome in, everybody, and happy Thursday to you. Staring down the barrel of 5 straight hours of content for you, our beloved listeners, our tier ones, the reason that we get out of bed in the morning for you guys. 5 straight hours, 300 minutes, right? Is that right? Yeah, 300 minutes of just prattling on and prognosticating about our local baseball club and some other things in this show, certainly. Good morning, all. I'm Woodsy. That is Paul Reindl, the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, how are you?
Doing great, Pally. We've got Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joining us as well. Good morning, Benjamin.
Good morning, and happy Masters opening round Thursday, everybody.
Happy Masters Day to you. Happy Masters Day to my dad. I think he's so engrossed in it already, he hasn't even texted me back. I texted him, Happy Masters Day, and he didn't write back yet, so hopefully he's okay. Like I said, he's probably very engrossed in the early goings out at Augusta, Georgia. But listen, what do you guys think of my new haircut that my lady gave me, the Freddie Freeman, yesterday? We have the roast on Friday. Can you give me the Roger Maris, please? We have the roast on Friday, and I was getting a little bit fluffy on the sides. Really was where it was at. It was the sides were a little gray, a little puby, a little puffy. So I texted her. I said, can I come in today and get a little cleaned up? She said, sure, no problem. So I go in. I said, I'm actually pretty good with the length up top. I'm pretty good. But I'd really like it a little bit higher and tighter around the sides. She said, no problem. And we get to chatting. We've got kids in the same class. Her son is in Bo's class. And I've known them. They were in preschool together. So she's a dear friend. She goes, I'm going to do a little texturing on the top. Oh, okay, sounds good. Whatever. You do what you have to do. I'm not going to tell you what to do, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when listeners tell me how to do radio. I don't really take kindly to it, you know?
So you asked me what I think. Is this a trick question, or is this, I don't know. This is something that my wife will ask, how do I look? And I never know how to answer. What do you want me to say?
Well,
just tell me what you want me to say.
I mean, she gave me the Roger Maris. I look like Roger Maris in 1961.
I was going to say Ed Grimley.
Who is Ed Grimley?
Martin Short from Saturday Night Live, where it starts to come up to a point a little bit.
I mean, that's really because of the headphones.
Is that what's causing that? Okay.
Yeah. So I just looked at in the mirror when I woke up this morning, and I said, I look like Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman has a flat top. And that's what I feel like I have right now. Now, maybe it'll grow out before Friday. Just a little bit. It's really all I need. Carlos said I had that hairdo in 2015. I get it, 100%. At 49 years old, I'm mostly just elated to have hair.
Right.
Yeah, that hasn't fallen out. I haven't.
You have good hair.
I do. I'm very happy with my hair. So I'm happy with it, and it'll always grow out. It always grows.
And I do think that, you know, if you really want the hair to look good in a few days, you want it to be a little short.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is fine.
Had she trimmed the sides and everything, I feel like on top would have been too big and pointy. So I think it will be fine by Friday. Do I keep the beard for the event? Does it look okay?
I don't know. Did you give up 9 runs in 3 innings?
I did not. No, I've given up no runs.
Then maybe you can keep the beard.
Orthodox says, I feel like you look the same. All right. Well, that makes me feel a little bit better.
I was going to say, Paulie, he often says, I got a haircut, and I don't really notice. Yeah. He looks kind of the same. You're not,
yeah, let's be honest. You're not the world's most observant person.
Fair.
Ever.
Fair.
Right? I've been wearing a shirt. This is funny that you bring this up. I actually mentioned it to my wife. Not today. Today's plain black. When I went to Vegas, I went to see Deftones play, and I bought a shirt. And in the shirt is this. It's the picture on the front says Deftones at the top, and there's a woman's hand, and she's got bright red nails, and in her hand is this phallic snake, and she's holding this snake. And it's very, very obvious what it's referring to. I've worn it like 4 times since, and I sit like this, and I stare at Ben, and I wait for him to notice the woman holding the penis.
Is that the white shirt that says Deftones across the front?
Correct.
I've seen the shirt.
He's never mentioned you have a penis snake hand.
You know what? I haven't looked at the picture at all. I see Deftones. I guess my eyes go toward words, not pictures.
This was a test. It was yes, you failed. You failed dramatically. You failed the test. So you're not the world's most observant. Paulie is more observant, but Paulie sits way over there.
I literally have a computer screen.
It's right in.
I can see
my gullet
from your chin.
You
down,
see from my.
I see nothing.
You see from my turkey neck
yeah.
up, and that's it. She can't see my clothes, so I will sit sometimes like this to Ben.
All right, Woods. That's very black shirt you're wearing today.
It is very black.
Very black.
It's very black. But yeah. So listen, it's just something to work on, right? You know, like we have at the top of our rundown. It's just be curious.
I see that. I understand. I could be more observant. At the same time, you don't need to be up in everybody's business about what they're wearing. I mean, you know,
sure you do. It's we're gonna do a radio show. That's exactly what you need to be doing. I comment on your clothes every day. Yes, it's exactly that's what the gig is. You got to be observant. Is all I'm saying. So you didn't notice the haircut, Paulie. What do you think of the Freddie Freeman? Does it look the same? Just a little bit.
Looks good.
All right, I think it looks all right. Yeah. Kurt says at least you have hair. Team bald. Kurt, if my hair starts falling out, you guys may not see me again. And I mean all of you. I may go deep into the woods in shame. I'm going to have a hard time with it. I really need it to hang on until I'm gone. That's what I really, really need. I need it. And I could wear a hat.
I think Deep Into the Woods would be a great segment name somehow.
Actually, I'll pass. I don't want anybody going deep into the woods. All right? Pass.
Not Mike Schilt even? He wants to go.
No,
wants to go fast, but wants to go slow.
Especially Mike Schilt. No, especially
into the woods.
He's the last guy I would let in the woods. I'm going to be honest with you, Ben. Dominic said, "Me too, Kurt. Team bald." Dominic actually looks really good as a bald guy. Really, really good. Some guys can pull it off. I'm not one of them. My wife says that I look like a thumb, and now imagine a thumb with no hair, just like a thumb. Yeah, look.
For the side view thumb.
Thumb,
side
yeah.
Thumb. Yeah, oh yeah, I see that now.
Yeah, look here.
I was thinking it was a front view thumb, but
nope.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, there's definitely.
She says I look like a thumb.
You're the top of your head kind of back a little bit.
It's
like
crazy.
The thumb.
It's crazy. Huh. It's crazy. Deep Into the Woods would be a good therapy session bit for you guys to do. I'm looking for a new bit, and I had an idea, and I have to, we have to flesh it out. But
Lost in the Woods.
It's been
not bad.
It's been something I wanted to do for a while, and I would like to do an advice type segment, right? I want to do advice. Is something wrong? Oh, I want to do an advice type segment, for all of us. Oh, is he watching TV? Is he watching the Masters?
I'm not.
Oh, okay.
It's not on.
I'm making sure that he does.
Oh, okay. Paulie went and got the remote like a dad. I was like, what the hell's Paulie doing? So I want to do an advice type segment. Maybe once a week, once a day. I don't know what it is, but we collect and gather emails.
We give advice or we take
No,
it?
we give. Well, no. We take enough advice.
Yeah, I know.
I'd like to give advice. Not just me, you and Paul. All of us. Like, lean on us for something. Whether it's relationship, whether it's new job, something. I feel like I want to do that. I think it would be entertaining.
Like Frasier. Hello, San Diego.
Yeah, like Frasier.
I'm listening.
That's it. That's exactly it. And like we put out the Ben and Woods, hey, make sure on Monday you email us if you have any questions, crazy things that happen, if you need advice on something, because I feel like we can offer a lot of different perspectives.
But is this not what's wrong with the world? People offering unsolicited.
This is solicited.
Well, okay,
I'm
solicited, but unqualified opinions.
Oh,
we're not trained as therapists. We don't really know their life situation. Are we qualified to be giving advice to people?
As qualified as Adam Carolla was to do it on the radio for 100 years. As qualified as anybody.
It's a good segment. Will we change lives? I don't know.
I mean, maybe. You never know. But if we say something and it clicks in someone's head like, oh no, man, you're going about this the wrong way. Try it this way, because I'm constantly wanting to learn and improve, and I think people out there do as well.
Therapy Thursdays. San Diego's concierge and therapist.
Yeah, and Alex says if people call in, they're not looking for qualified opinions necessarily.
That's a good point.
They just want to know what we think. So I've been wanting to do that.
Everyman opinions. I'm not really an everyman. Let's not be. Let's be honest here.
Yeah, that's true. San Diego's concierge and therapist. I'm all the way in.
We'll get business cards printed for you.
I've been getting some concierge questions lately. That should be a bit as well. San Diego's concierge is. We really should be leaning into that more. I do feel like, much to my chagrin, but I do think it's a good bit. Ben, you can do budgeting advice, things like that. So yeah, let's kick it around together, and then of course the tier ones can kick it around as well. If you have anything, fire it our way, and we'll give it a little test run in the next couple of days. We got nothing to do. There's no game today. Be a great day to call in. Yeah, like Andy says, the best Stern segments are when people call in for advice. 100%. It's something we've never really done in 7 years. So I'd like to do that. That's something I have been thinking a lot about.
Not fantasy baseball advice.
I can help you a little fantasy baseball if you wanted to, but I'd like something a little deeper.
I actually like no sports at all.
That's a good point. Yeah, no sports at all. Dominic says, first submission. Hi, Woods. I live in Victorville, and I have the hots for a married woman. I think I know who this came from. This would be from my buddy Russ, that wants a taste of my missus.
Hey, when you see something in life you want, go for it, man.
Russ, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not, buddy. Stop chumming Twitter with creepy messages. That's my advice to you. And go look for real love, because it's out there. Doomslayer says, do War of the Roses. Doomslayer, that's a fake bit. Here's what I don't want to do. I don't want to do the radio thing where it's like, hey, man, here's the topic. Let's have our buddy call in and be like, hey, Ben, I really need some help with blank. That happens all the time. Flip onto a local morning show right now. You will, if you hear a caller, I bet you $100 it's paid. It's a paid caller. We don't want to do that. We want real tier ones with real problems that need real answers.
There's a chance the person on the other side of the line is doing it for free, but it's a setup call.
It's a setup call. War of the Roses. Yeah, it's a fake bit. It's a good bit. It's a good bit. It's an absolutely good bit. But it's like, you watch Seinfeld, those aren't real people, right? Those are actors. Same thing with War of the Roses. I don't look at Seinfeld and go, this isn't a documentary? What the hell?
Woods, can you tell me how to install my windshield wipers?
Yes, I can. Come to my house and have my wife do it for you. She will do it for you. So, yeah, this is something to noodle on, Benjamin.
All right. Well, I mean, if advice is the wave of the future, I'm not going to stand in everybody's way.
I would like to get some of your wisdom, some of your wisdom. And Paulie's a wise person. For a guy Paulie's age, right? Paulie has really, really good advice. I've leaned on Paulie for advice for many, many years.
He's got a good head on his shoulders.
Good head on his shoulders.
I've seen a lot of S.
You have seen a lot of S.
I forget that he's as young as he is sometimes.
Yes.
Because he doesn't have that youngness about him.
Correct.
And it's not an insult, Paulie.
It's not an insult to young people either.
No, I'm just saying that, Paulie has a bit of wisdom for a person of his years.
He's sturdy. That's how I look at Paulie. Paulie's sturdy. You can count on him. You can lean on him. You can vent to him.
We're all pretty sturdy.
We are pretty sturdy.
Yeah,
we are
a sturdy crew.
We are. Yeah, like
maybe a little too sturdy.
Yeah, maybe a little too. Maybe we do need to cut loose a little bit more. Show your penis.
Well, we all have our issues, but
yeah, we all have issues.
Ultimately, we can depend on each other.
Correct.
And I think that's why we've been able to get along for 7 years.
And
no one's constantly letting down one
No,
of the
exactly, dude. Exactly.
If one of us was letting down the other two on a regular basis, it just wouldn't work.
Can't make it work. It is a hard scene in this business if one person is constantly like,
occasionally someone is just so talented and funny that they can get away with being a flake.
Yep.
But in any line of work, the flake just finds their way out the door at some point. No matter how good they are at their job, no one wants to constantly deal with a flake at work. It's just too much.
It's impossible. It's an impossible life. It really
don't you
is.
hate it when your boss protects the flake?
Yes.
They're bringing in the business, so the boss looks the other way, but it just impacts everybody else.
You know what's worse? When you get the grief that is meant for the flake. That's the worst part is, hey, watch your boy. Hey, take care of your boy. Bro, you hired him. It's your boy. By law, he's your boy. playing middleman to a flake, bro, it's the hardest of the hard. Constantly juggling, keeping them out of trouble. Hey, can you make sure that blah, blah, blah. Then running down to the office. Hey, he said he was sorry. He won't do it again. I've done it. I did it twice. It's the worst effing way to live ever. And you do it to salvage what you have. And it's no way to live. And it's massively unfair to you. So, I would love to do that. I would love to help actual tier ones that needed advice on things. And I just think it'd be fun. I think it would be entertaining. I think it'd be good radio. And I think it would provide a service.
Okay.
So think
we
about
just
it.
have to have a time and we'll
and a catchy name.
Set an appointment. Yeah, we definitely need a name. Everything in radio.
Got to have a catchy name. 100%.
All right. We got a baseball game to talk about.
Woo!
We will set the menu, get you ready for a Thursday 5-hour program, including the roundtable, all coming up here after a check of traffic with Kelly Danick on a somewhat foggy, somewhat depends on where you are, I guess, morning here in San Diego. It's San Diego's #1 sports station, Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Let's start our advice segment, though, Woods.
Yeah, this is perfect.
Hold
on, let me stop.
Okay.
Hey, Ben, I'm 50 years old, and I have a family, and I haven't done a will yet. Am I an idiot?
You are an idiot, Woods, because all you needed to do was go to trustandwill.com. It's very simple.
Okay.
To set your affairs in order. Get it done. Get it off your plate. Get some peace of mind.
Okay. I know what a will is. Do I really need a trust?
You really do, Woods, because if you're trying to leave important assets to your family, like a house or, assets, 401ks, if you don't leave a trust, they could get stuck in probate court for months or even years with costly legal fees attached. And with a trust, simple to put together, you can avoid much of that hassle, much of that headache, and save your family potentially a lot of money.
Now, I know that this is trustandwill.com, but there's no discount code, is there?
Absolutely is a discount code. It's FAN, F-A-N, and you're going to get 20% off their already reasonable service prices, plus free shipping of your estate documents.
I would do it, but it probably takes all day.
It's so easy. Just answer a few questions online. You'll be done with the process simply by going to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Man,
Next
that was
caller.
such good advice.
Such good advice.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
All right, Padres had a somewhat makeshift lineup, very makeshift lineup yesterday. But as Mike Schilt always says, what does he say, Woods? Winners find solutions.
No, you painted me as a doomer yesterday. And then after they won, I tweeted, winners find solutions. And then our beloved Scott Lewis from Voice of San Diego said, respectfully, eat S. Was I dooming so hard? Yes. I thought I was just trying to be kind of prudent. I felt prudent when I left yesterday. I didn't feel like I ripped the team or anything like that.
You weren't ripping the team.
No.
There was reason for pessimism yesterday with the injury news, the lineup
but I feel
that you
like
knew they were going to have to put on the field.
That one didn't bother me as I really didn't, because everybody you'll find lineups like that, Ben, on a getaway day if everybody's healthy sometimes, you know? And so, it
used to be the Sunday lineup, the Padres, they throw out the Sunday lineups, all the B squatters, you knew the stars were probably going to get a rest.
Get a day off.
It was just the way it used to be.
Yesterday didn't bother me. I knew that Beto was going to be a good pitcher with a good arm, a lively arm. And so I thought to myself, maybe this is a game where there's a ton of runs scored. That was way off. Paulie, did you take the over yesterday?
I sure did.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
I'm guessing it didn't hit.
It did not hit.
2.5 was not the over-under for the game.
It was not even close. I felt like my dooming kicked in as it pertained to this coming weekend. That's where I'm dooming. I'll tell you, I was not dooming about the A's yesterday. I thought they could win that game, but I'm dooming hard about the Rockies just based on the last few years of just feeling like two reasons. It's be my second game of the year when I go on Saturday with you guys, and it's against the Rockies. I feel like I see the Rockies play 15 times a year at Petco Park. And so I'm just kind of over the Rockies.
Well,
I'm over how much they beat us.
We will talk about it on the roundtable today with Tony and Chris and Scraby and you and me and Braden. Paulie's off this week from the roundtable.
You want to switch?
You
can have mine.
Let me get back to you on that.
Right.
Because we went through the numbers, and I understand where it's coming from. So updated from yesterday, though, the Padres still with the best record in baseball.
Crazy.
Rockies still with the worst record in baseball, coming now off a 17-2 loss to the Brewers yesterday.
One has
and
nothing to do with the other.
But I know how you're feeling, and we'll talk about it.
Hannah actually said this yesterday. She said, "What did we score the night before last? 6 runs?
5
runs?" She goes, "No, we only scored 2 runs coming off of scoring 6." And I go, "Babe, but one has nothing to do with the other. Like, baseball's like that. You can lose 20-1 on Sunday and come out Monday and hang 20 yourself. It's just a dumb sport." That moment,
part of that, you're facing different pitchers every day,
That's
but
right.
It's also just the nature of baseball.
Just the nature of the game.
So, yeah, we'll talk about the game. Our Wrap-Up, winning edition of the Back to the Wins of our Padres Wrap-Up coming up in our next segment.
Real quick, everyone's pointing out Charlie Blackmon is no longer a part of the Rockies.
He doesn't play. He's part of the organization.
Sure.
So that means the specter of Charlie Blackmon looms large.
He won't hit a home run.
He won't hit a home run
tomorrow.
When we doom about the Rockies and just the way they have owned us over the last however many years,
it ain't
was
just
it Charlie Blackmon or it's the Rockies?
Part of it, but
he I mean,
Nolan Jones they find different guys somehow to beat the Padres over and over again.
It's terrifying.
Herman Marquez is one of those guys who's going to pitch in the first game tomorrow that just seems to want to own the Padres when he takes the mound.
AKA Jacob deGrom in his prime.
They lost, by the way, 17-2.
He just said that. It doesn't.
So I am fully expecting them to just they're scoring 10 runs tomorrow.
I mean, they have to play
whether or not the Padres score more,
and they don't have an off day. They're playing today and having to fly tonight to get to San Diego.
Everything you're saying is
in the Padres' favor.
It should make me feel better. It actually makes me feel worse.
Record of 2-9. Yep, time to get right.
5-9 after the homestand or after the road trip. Yeah, I don't know. They put the fear of God into me. Really, over any other team.
This is emotional, superstitious baseball. We're going to do the opposite today because it's Thursday and try some smart baseball with Eno Sarris of The Athletic. Wrote a piece yesterday about the pitchers who are off to slow starts, but their stuff is still really good. So guys that you would expect are going to turn it around really quickly, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about Dylan Cease and what went on with him. Eno's so good with pitching stuff as well, so he'll join us for our Smart Baseball Weekly segment coming up at 8:35 today. Talk about everything else that's going on with baseball. Do we have a Throwback Thursday segment here today, Paul?
Working on it.
Trying to find something good.
We did a little bit of it yesterday with Joe Musgrove, his anniversary of his no-hitter.
The how many years was it? 4 years? 4-year anniversary yesterday, which was really cool. And then we played the calls, and I got emotional when we heard Eduardo's call of the no-hitter. And then we talked to Dallas Braden, who I didn't get to ask him about his perfect game and how that changed his life. I mean,
we've asked him before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I even have a clip of us asking him. I think we had him on right around when Joe threw the no-hitter 4 years ago, and we asked him that exact question.
But we will do our Throwback Thursday real or fake game with a chance to qualify for a trip to Las Vegas and our other usual features like Don't Do This and the Reindl Report. But I want to talk about yesterday's game. I think it was an interesting one, to be sure. We will get to our wrap-up, the highlights with Jesse and Tony, and talk about it all coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right. Since it is an off day, though, if you're looking for something to do and not watching baseball later today, maybe take a short drive down the 5 freeway to Chula Vista, get off, and then stay on Bay Boulevard right there on the west side, and you will quickly find yourself pulling into 7 Mile Casino, Woods.
Yeah, and when you park, you'll walk right inside, and you will be, if you've never been before, I always like to tell you, you're going to walk in and go, those dudes were absolutely right. I am 100% pleasantly surprised at what I see and what I don't smell, which is cigarettes, cigars, all that blowing in your face. You're not going to hear slot machines. You're going to hear people having a good time playing card games.
I could use some advice. I'm a high-limit player.
Oh, it's a great place.
Is it a good place for me?
Great place for you.
Outstanding. I like to eat. Is there a good food available?
Oh, the best. Sammy's. They got chopped salads. They've got the best Kung Pao chicken you will ever have.
What if I wanted just
You
to
can't do this bit
enjoy
all day, by the way. All right. I've already burned it up. Just go to
Yeah.
7 Mile
Yeah,
Casino.
just go to 7 Mile Casino.
Yeah,
we don't need bits.
It's just 7 minutes from downtown.
It's easy. It's fun. We don't need bits. It's 7 Mile Casino, just minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Padres do not have to play in Sacramento again for 2 years.
That's fantastic.
As long as baseball doesn't change the way they do scheduling.
Right.
But they will likely get another visit because it's going to take at least 3 years for the A's to build their new ballpark in Las Vegas. But they get out of there with a series win.
Yes.
Woods and a 3-3 road trip.
Yeah. At what cost getting out of there with a series win? I saw when Luis Ariz went down yesterday, I didn't originally see where the ball hit him. So it was like on the meaty part of the leg. And I was like, oh no. Because again, you see a guy hit the deck like that and you're like, great, here we go again.
Tough when your only strikeout
is on that.
It's on a ball that drills
1K all year, and it's on that turd that pitch in on the thigh, and he just this momentum happened to bring his bat through the zone.
We finally found a pitch that Luis Ariz cannot make contact with.
Yeah.
Well, he did make contact with it, just
with
not
his
with
leg.
The bat.
Yeah, with his leg. So I'm glad to be out of there. I'm sure the players are as well. Get back here where it's beautiful, where your ballpark is modern and big and full of fans and Padres fans screaming your name. Fine road trip, 500. Great.
Not only will we get to the highlights, but we also have the injury update. If you didn't stick around after the game for the post-game show with Sammy yesterday, Mike Schilt did give an injury update on Fernando Tatis Jr. and Jake Cronenworth, and we'll have that for you all coming up right after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Eliminate Termite, the orange oil experts. Low visibility around a good part of the county this morning, guys, thanks to some very thick fog. Dense fog advisory till 9 o'clock this morning. And a couple of accidents to mention here. One of them northbound side of the 805, right past Adams Avenue. It's in the center divide. Up ahead, right before Murray Ridge, we have reports of a stalled car blocking the right lane. And now southbound 5 just past Garnett, getting reports of an encampment fire over to the right shoulder. Have termites? Eliminate Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You know what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres Wrap-Up.
Brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort with gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep. Here's the 0-1 pitch, lined into center field. Lockridge charging straight in, makes the catch on the run. Langolier's tagging. Here's the throw to the plate. Maldonado's tag is in time, and a double play to end the inning. Told you Langoliers likes to run and runs well for a catcher, but Brandon Lockridge cuts him down. The A's will challenge it. It was certainly bang, bang at the plate.
After review, the call is overturned. The runner is safe.
Pitch here is kind of looped into shallow center field. Blade, long run, dives forward, can't make the catch. Bogart's going to score to tie the game. They'll hold Manny at third base, and a bloop base hit for Oscar Gonzalez to make it 1-1 here in the third. Pitch on the way. Sheet swings, sends it in the air to right center field. That should get the job done. Blade about 10 feet in front of the track. Makes the catch, sends it back towards the infield. The shot to get Xander, who tags and scores. Gavin Sheets a sac fly. And the Padres lead for the first time today. It's 2-1. If Arias runs on 3-2, he does not. And the pitch is bounced up the middle, way to his right. Iglesias has it near second, steps on the bag in time, throw to first in time. What a double play turned by Jose Iglesias. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him to chase the slider. And the second strikeout of the inning for Jason Adam will bring the eighth to a close. Left-hand hitting J.J. Blade swings at the first pitch, pops it into shallow center. Lockridge racing in, on the move, gets there to make the catch, and the ball game is over. Padres a 2-1 win over the Athletics as they take 2 out of 3 here in Sacramento. And Robert Suarez becomes the first Padre ever to begin his year with 6 hitless outings.
Crony, we still feel like cramp, still getting some of that out of there, inflammation fluid a little bit out of there. We do expect him, but we'll hold our feet to the fire with him being in there on Friday. Toddy had a good night, good day today. Could have been available in a pinch. Clearly stayed away from him. So he's optimistic. We're optimistic as well.
For Friday, just to be clear.
We're optimistic for Friday, but again, we got some time between now and then to evaluate it. So we reserve our right. But they're both tracking in a good place.
Yeah, well, that's good news from the skipper, Mike Schilt, that not only is Fernando Tatis feeling better, but he could have played yesterday in a pinch, in an emergency, didn't need him. So they gave him that extra day of rest. He'll be off tomorrow. And then the expectation, don't hold his feet to the fire. Managers don't like to go, well, you said he was going to play on Wednesday. You said he was going to play on Friday. Now he's not there. What happened?
That's correct.
Yep.
But the odds are it looks like Tatis and Cronenworth will be back in the lineup.
You might think I'm nuts.
I don't know.
Really.
You're the boss, man. What you say goes.
So that was good news after the game. And while the final score of 2-1 was exactly what I was expecting, the game to be like. If the Padres were going to win, I said, hey, they're going to need Randy Vasquez to throw a good start. He did. 1 hit, 5 innings, 1 run. And they're going to need to scratch off, a couple of runs, scratch across. They actually dominated the game more than the final score indicates. They out-hit the A's 12-2 in the game yesterday. Padres did not convert really all road trip with runners in scoring position. Was not their strength, but enough to win 3 games and finish with a 3-3 record. And most teams will be pretty happy if you go on the road, play 500 ball on the road. Winning record at home that's a formula to get to the postseason in baseball.
No question, man. And you don't want the lack of hitting with runners in scoring position to become a trend. It's not a good trend. It's not a trend that can last, and it doesn't breed success, right? I love that they're getting guys on. I love that they're getting guys over. Getting guys in is the hard part, is what we talked about yesterday, actually off the air for a while, too. The value of being able to drive in runs. Look, you're going to have those stretches where you win these close ball games when you lose. Had they lost yesterday, Ben, 2-1, the very first thing we would have said in here was you got to find a way to get those runners in. You have to. You cannot go 1 for 11 with runners in scoring position or whatever it was. You can't leave 11 men on base in yesterday's game. It's the first thing that you look to. Vasquez pitched his ass off, man. You got to come through for that guy. And that would have been the first thing we pointed to. But you got enough to get it done. And again, all the credit in the world goes to the bullpen and the way that Mike Schilt is deploying his bullpen. Jason Adam, by the way, is an absolute freak. So is Robert Suarez, by the way. Hasn't given up a hit yet all season. But
we were also worried about him in spring training.
It was, and I was thinking back to it because I saw a guy tweet. Yes, you didn't tweet at us, but it was a common theme. Craig talked about it. We talked about it. Look, all we had heard was these guys are it's a salary crunch right now. It's going to be a numbers crunch for this team. Who is somebody that you could feasibly move that wouldn't absolutely kill your team, that could get you something back and you could dump some salary? It's Robert Suarez. I don't remember anybody saying, this dude's washed. We got to get rid of him now.
Oh, no. Yeah.
It was always like, if we have to move somebody, I'd rather it be him than Dylan or Michael.
It was Cease, King, Arise, and Suarez.
And it was pick one.
Pick one that doesn't necessarily mean you are throwing in the towel on 2025 and restocking for 2026.
Because
it is, and I stand by that.
I do too. And because
I don't want them to move him.
What you could do, what you could have done if you traded Suarez, and God knows what you would have gotten back for him, you would have saved some money for sure, which was kind of the whole point. But Jason Adam, you look at what he's been able to do this year, Ben. The guy has given up. Opposing batters have put one slider in play, not even for a knock. They put it in play. His XWOBA, his expected weighted on base average on the slider is 0.0.
Why doesn't he just throw the slider every pitch?
His changeup yesterday was bananas. absolutely bananas.
Point
yeah.
0.
He has been lights out. And you compliment him with Jeremiah Estrada and Robert Suarez. They have combined, Ben, to throw 20 and 2/3 innings. The amount of hits they've allowed between the three of them in 20 and 2/3 innings. Four hits. That is dominant.
So Suarez, Adam,
Estrada.
And
dominant.
Morahone, or just those
just
three?
Those three. Okay. The big three.
But throw in Morahone as well. He's only given up 1 run all season. He's been terrific. That's been the 4-inning combination. And that was Mike Shilt's strategy yesterday when he lifted Randy Vasquez after 1 hit and just 61 pitches after 5 innings. It's not something you normally would see a skipper do. Randy Vasquez could have thrown another inning, maybe 2 more innings, gotten deeper into the game. But with an off day today, Schilt looked at where they were in the lineup and goes, I think my best path to victory is Morahone, Estrada, Adam, Suarez for the final 4. And it was. He was absolutely
that a lot
right.
last year, too. Now we're missing Scott from the ASS acronym at the back end.
We got Ace now. We have
we got to figure something out. I was thinking about it yesterday.
Let's see.
It was Morahone.
It's me right now.
Estrada, Adam,
it's right.
Scott,
you can go Ace.
Same.
ASE.
Same. Suarez, Adam, Morahone, and Estrada. Same. That's what it is. Same with your bullpen.
Yeah.
The last 4 innings.
Point being,
we don't have to do it for every.
That strategy was used a ton last year. Even when a guy was cruising, and you got through 6 innings, you're like, all right, give it to Ass, and this game is over.
Seam, like the seams on a baseball.
Seam.
Good one, Carlos.
I like that.
Very nice. So yeah, he pulled Vasquez early. That's always a risky thing for a manager to do. Pull a starting pitcher who's effective in favor of your bullpen, but so confident in that bullpen right now, and that confidence is not being misplaced by Mike Shildt. And by the way, we were right in our analysis in spring that the Padres bullpen was deep enough that they probably could have absorbed a trade for Robert Suarez if they got something for him. But, now it's just deeper with him as opposed to not having him. And it has definitely won them some games early in this season in this 10-3 start. On the offense, even though the Padres didn't hit with runners in scoring position, I thought by far the biggest at-bat of the whole game belonged to Gavin Sheets, who didn't look good his first couple times at the plate. Didn't get a hit, but ended up after an 8-pitch at bat getting that negative WAR value sacrifice fly that won the game for the San Diego Padres.
Absolutely terrible play, according to analytics.
Yeah, no chance that's a bad play in that game yesterday.
Correct.
In a low-scoring game, you need to get that runner in from third, and Gavin Sheets did a heck of a job against Beto in the long at bat, staying alive, getting a ball to the outfield that was deep enough to score the run. Really good baseball, and there's no doubt in my mind that that's good baseball, whatever they value it metrically. And we were talking about it yesterday that sac flies are actually a negative WAR value because you're making an out, even though it's an RBI. That was a positive play for the Padres yesterday.
Big shout out to Xander Bogaerts for a really, really nice game yesterday.
Nice week.
Nice week. He's playing very well. Very well. Give credit where credit is due to Xander Bogaerts. And I thought the Oscar Gonzalez absolute barrel, 110.9 miles an hour off the bat, the hardest hit ball of the day, belonged to him, drove in a run. I mean, you look at that and you're like, that's what this guy did all spring training. That's what he did at AAA. That's a guy I want on my roster, a guy with the ability to barrel the baseball like that. And great win. I mean, he always says grit squad. I mean, if there's a game that encapsulates the grit squad, that's yesterday's game. 2-1, man. 2-1.
Jose Iglesias' good defense.
God, what a play! The double play was so sexy.
Limited use. Heard that highlight in the wrap-up. Just a really nice play that helped. Randy Vasquez had a couple of DPs. Very easy work in that game yesterday. And everyone contributed. I know Lockridge didn't throw the guy out at the plate, but it was a good throw.
Yep.
That home plate rule of having to avoid blocking home plate really makes it hard on catchers to tag the guy. I saw Maldonado taking some criticism like, oh, you're waiting for the ball to cross home plate and tag you. Well, either way you go, if you stand way out in front of home plate, the runner is simply going to slide to the backside of home plate, and he's going to be too far away to reach. Or if you clear out home plate from behind, he's going to slide to the front, and it's going to be too far away to reach him and tag him. Unless the throw beats the guy now by like 3 steps, it's really hard to tag a runner out at home plate now with the new plate blocking rules in Major League Baseball.
It's very difficult. And by the way, you can do it the right way in as we've asked Schilt so many times, how do you actually do it? He's like, I don't know. Nobody does. They change their mind from game to game, So yeah, great throw though. You're right. And everyone did the right thing there. Just the wrong result. Very encouraged, man. Very encouraged. Still a really fun team to watch. I know they left a lot of guys on, but there was a lot of action in the game. The defense, the play by Iglesias was just outstanding. Who was the corresponding move for Oscar?
So they DFA Tom Cosgrove.
So when Toddy and Crony come back, everyone can stay as is.
Right, they're not on the.
They're not on the IL.
They just didn't play yesterday. Yeah, Mike Schilt had like a two-man bench yesterday.
It was Maldonado.
Diaz was on the bench, and he had who was the other guy that he had available on the bench yesterday?
It was Merrill. Merrill to the IL.
Oh, yeah.
Merrill to the IL, and it was
what brought Gonzalez up. When he got to the 40-man, they had to DFA Tom Cosgrove.
Right.
Last week though, to put him on the 40-man.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like Oscar to stay. I think he can be a valuable piece.
So I agree. I mean,
even when Merrill comes back,
which means
somebody's got to
go.
Yuli
or Jason Hayward, or someone's going to have to go.
Who was on the bench yesterday? Because I got the text from a buddy that said, why aren't we pinch running for Maldonado here? And I said, I don't think he has anybody on the bench other than Diaz. And that would be the two Spider-Man guys pointing at each other.
Tatis maybe could have pinch run, but you don't want him to have to slide and potentially jam that shoulder up.
No.
I'm not sure who's the last person on the bench. Yuli. You pinch it. Yeah.
You don't pinch run. That's what they were saying. Why not pinch run? Yuli. Again, Spider-Man meme.
All right, Padres first team to 10 wins in Major League Baseball with that victory yesterday. We'll have more thoughts on yesterday's game, the rest of Major League Baseball. Don't do this. All coming up in hour number 2 of Been It What's next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. If you want to talk about the grit squad, the B squad yesterday coming through, I thought this was pretty amazing. The normal top 4 in an everyday Mike Schilt lineup: Luis Arraez, Fernando Tatis Jr., Jackson Merrill, and sometimes Jake Cronenworth has been up in the top 4.
What about Manny?
Manny's there too, but those 4 guys are 4 of the leading hitters.
Hold on. Yeah.
They had 0 hits from any of them.
Right.
Arraez went 0 for 5, and the other 3 didn't play. And they still got 12 hits in the game.
They did.
That's pretty incredible.
It is.
They got that kind of production.
I'm sorry, that's just a very cherry-picked
It is
stat by not including Manny Machado in the top 4 hitters.
4 of your top players, though, you got 0 hits from. You got nothing from Arraez, who had been, getting like 3 or 4 a game for the last week, and then 3 other guys who didn't play, and you still managed to get 12 hits in the game. It was pretty cool.
Baseball is a weird game.
I need you to do me a favor.
Sure, I do favors.
I need you to model for me,
okay,
for our YouTube audience at least. We have the Padres Aloha shirt giveaway. You've seen Don Orsillo a few times, probably, if you've been watching Padres baseball on the mini yacht out displaying the Aloha shirt presented by Motorola that's going to be given away during the Padres Cubs series coming up on the next homestand. That is, which game is that? The Monday or Tuesday
Monday
game?
night.
The Monday night game. And we actually have tickets to give away today for that Monday night game for the Aloha shirt. First 40,000 fans. It comes in 5 fan-friendly sizes. It's totally up to you. You're off camera right now, so you can safely remove your shirt without everybody seeing it. Not bad. Yeah. Pretty ripped.
Better, right?
You want to get on camera and show everybody? Whoa. Woodsy giving us a peep show this morning. So here's how you're going to win the tickets to the Padres game. We're going to do one of our sounders, and since it's an Aloha shirt with a nice island theme, is that
is really struggling?
Is that the youth large size? What do we got going here?
This XL.
It's medium. Actually, it looks pretty good on you.
Not bad, huh?
Yeah.
You look so relaxed.
You do look like
you're on island time.
You look like you're on island time. So here's the sounder to win. The next time you hear this,
because I'm an island boy and I've been trying to make. Oh, I'm an island boy.
Next time you hear Island Boy, call in at 833-288-0973, and the 5th caller is going to win the tickets to the Padres Cubs game on Monday to get your own Padres Aloha shirt, which Woods is now modeling on our YouTube stream.
Yeah, I like it.
Rod says Woods looks Samoan.
All right. Weird. Miami Vice. This is an XL, Mike, and it fits pretty well.
Once you got it on, it actually does fit quite well.
I'm going to Hawaii this year. I will 100% bring this with me.
Sure.
Yes, I only have a couple of Hawaiian shirts.
And, they're always sponsored, but I love that the actual Motorola on the sleeve is the same as the one on the jerseys. The Padres wear their Motorola patch on the jerseys.
I may wear this on the old round table today.
Yeah, you never know. Looks good on you, actually.
Yeah, I like this. Cool.
Very relaxed and comfortable.
Yep.
I'd like to, real quick, this does not count for the tickets. Do not call in.
Do not call in.
Don't call in.
We are changing the sounder.
Oh, you're changing it.
I am changing the sounder. It's still the Island Boys, but I forgot we have this gem.
Oh, yeah, the Padres won. If you're seeing this wrong, your team got smoked. Yeah. That's right. The Padres won. Oh, yeah, the Padres won.
Padres.
That is better.
That's better.
Let's switch it to the Island
That
Boy
is
Padres
the key to call
remix.
next time. Not right now. Somebody's already calling. Stop. Hang up.
Next time. 833-288-0973. 5th caller will win the tickets to the Padres Cubs game on Monday, and then we got another pair tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Tomorrow.
All right. So
tomorrow also for Monday's game.
Also for Monday's game.
I think
so a couple chances to win.
I think they've upped the quality of these.
Oh, they've undoubtedly across
think the quality
board
is better.
In recent years upped the quality of the giveaways.
It's not stretchy. Don said the other day it was stretchy. It's not stretchy, but it is soft and it is cozy.
I stumbled across an Instagram reel the other day, and it was this guy who went across all 30 teams, went through their promotional schedules, and picked in his opinion, the coolest item for every team throughout the year on giveaways. And it was really fun to watch. I think it was Orioles or the White Sox. Somebody's giving away a real radio that is shaped like the ballpark.
Oh, that's cool.
It's an AM/FM radio that works, and it's like a little. You put it on your desk or something. That one was cool. The Padres item that he chose was it's a kids giveaway only, but it was the City Connect glasses.
Oh, nice.
And they looked awesome. His logic was every little leaguer in San Diego should have these, and they will.
The kids are all big fans of the Tatis. Like Tatis has changed the world with his baseball specs that he wears. My son, my 4-year-old, wore them to school all day yesterday. He wore them, and then when I picked him up, he had them on the top of his head.
Kind of like beach volleyball glasses.
Kind of, yeah.
Come to baseball.
They're huge, and you'll see them at adult league. You'll see the guys all have the big. They're almost like goggles now. And I'm
Merrill kind of gets credit maybe for the bead chain.
Yeah, the bead chain 100%.
That's a big thing.
They all wear those too. Every little league game you see, man. It's Padres changing the world out here. That's how we do it.
I've seen pictures of like parents with kids that are 8, 9, 10 years old now, and they got like Evo Shield guards, and they've got all the accessories.
Yep. You'll see the kid with the oven mitt in his back pocket sticking up out in minor B. He's 8, 9 years old.
My buddy posted a picture of his son and like 2 of his buddies, and they are decked out. And he goes, they don't know what half of this stuff even is supposed to do.
Nope.
But it looks cool, and that's all they care about.
It's so funny, man. It's so funny. The eye black, the way that Jackson does his eye black.
Down.
Tatis, when he was doing the cat, Bo, that's the first eye black he wanted to wear. I mean, it's a thing.
It's funny that kids don't seem to want to emulate your friendly neighborhood sportscaster with polo shirts.
Not anymore.
No,
it's very weird. Maybe back in the day they did, but definitely not now. This is an XL, JW, and it fits pretty well.
It does. It does. It's not slim fit, but it's definitely not too loose.
No.
But you're an XL, which is, by the way, congratulations.
Thank you
on being an XL.
Thank you.
I've been bordering on getting down to XL lately, which is I'm very proud of that.
Yeah,
been a double X for many years, and I am starting to border at least on the threshold of XL.
This fits well.
You look like you would fit in on the White Lotus.
Oh, you do. I absolutely would fit in on the White Lotus for many reasons, but this being one of them. I will keep. This is mine. I'm going to keep this. I'm 6'1".
Yeah, you've got White Lotus, Walton Goggins, both haggard but on a tropical vacation
backstory.
Same time.
Yeah, I get it.
Little tortured backstory.
Yeah.
Dad issues.
What a friggin' show, and what a finale. Oh my God, we didn't even talk about it.
Typical Paul fashion. I started season 1 of the show finally. The FOMO started to finally kick in.
Yeah.
It's been about 4 years, I think, since season 1 aired. Started it yesterday. I think I killed the entire first season. Just blew through it.
It's just fantastic. It's outstanding. And then season 2 is incredible in Sicily. Loved it.
Mm-hmm.
And then this season, people were saying this one was more of a slow burn, but I didn't feel it, man. I didn't feel a slow burn. There was one episode where I was like, but the rest I was salivating, and I loved the finale. I loved everything about it. I love the backstories that are coming out about it now.
I haven't watched the finale yet. I'm up to the finale, but I haven't watched the last episode. But I think what I've loved about every season of The White Lotus is it really captures, if you're ever lucky enough to go like on a week-long vacation somewhere, and you start to like get to know the other people who are there at the pool, and you keep running into the same people over and over again, and either you learn a little bit about them or you kind of imagine their stories.
I love the imagination.
They're like, okay, what's the story with this couple and this family, and where they're coming in from, and you go and you just kind of interact with these randoms that you'll never see again, but for the week they're like your neighbors. And you're with them the whole time, and that's what the White Lotus is. It's these separate people who are all coming together, and they kind of are there at the same time, and with all different wild, crazy stories.
It's highly worth it if you don't have Max or whatever to get it. And Gemstones is on there too. I'm getting through the last season of Gemstones right now as well, which is pretty good. It's a little bit campy for me, and those are all my favorite people, but it's still a little bit campy. But Lotus is great. I mean, it just is so well done and tells such a good story. So, Johnny, we just talked about Bogey. We literally in the last segment just talked about Bogey. He's off to a really good start.
Something I do want to bring up, and we can get more into it, I think in the roundtable as well, but I felt like this last road trip is a bit of a ink blot test as a Padres fan. How do you view 3-3 road trip? Glass half full or glass half empty? Because you can, I think, legitimately go either way. You can go bunch of injuries, didn't hit with runners in scoring position, all the good vibes from the opening homestand, didn't do the same things. If they keep playing like this, they're gonna set themselves up for a fall. Or you can go, man, they fought their way to a 3-3 record, even though they didn't have all their players and their best stuff. They didn't get great pitching. They still managed to win some games. That's what winning teams do. What a great sign for the San Diego Padres that they went 3-3 on this last road trip. I mean, you really are identifying yourself as what kind of fan you are by how you viewed the last 6 games.
I think for me, man, the crap weather in Chicago that they also had to play in, they also had to play in it as well.
But they live in it.
They live in it. They weren't trained for it, as we talked to somebody about it this week. It was crap. It was crap weather. The injuries, you were again, in my mind, the way I looked at it yesterday is I went, great. You won that series. You lost that other series. It's fine, man. You come home 3-3. That's a successful road trip. The injuries kind of make it where you two ways to look at that too. You look at that and go, man, what a devastating road trip. 500 road trip and we lost a couple of guys. Or you say 500 road trip and we lost a couple of guys. I'm happy with a 3-3. And that's the camp I fall into.
It's totally different if those are 3 long season-ending injuries. I mean, you expect Jackson back in the lineup as early as next week. You expect Fernando and Crony maybe this weekend, maybe tomorrow night.
Yeah, and but you look at the pitching staff, especially the starting pitchers, and you go, all right, guys, we have to stop giving freebies. Like, you're walking way too many guys. Dylan Cease got pounded in that game. Michael King battled in his start. Randy Vasquez was really good, man. Again, but the walks from the pitching staff is really bugged me to this point. They're better than that. But yeah, hopefully they can once they get home, back to familiar territory against, again, a lesser team, certainly in the Colorado Rockies.
All 3 of the wins were 1-run wins.
Yeah.
You're not going to win they have won every 1-run game. I think they're 5-0 now in one-run games.
Yeah.
Not going to win every one of those. So you are playing with fire a little bit if that's how you're going to try to make your hay. But I think ultimately Padres did a good job getting to 3-3 on that round.
Absolutely. Especially starting the first 0-2 to start that road trip. And, came back and took 3-4. So take it every time.
All right. We have Don't Do This is coming up next on a Thursday. Tyreek Hill back in the DDT headlines yesterday, if you missed it. And I don't know if it's a don't or a do this story, but I want to get into the story of it's an Indianapolis Colts offensive lineman that I thought was fascinating yesterday. And I ran into of his story, Braden Smith, and what he is dealing with and has been dealing with and why he missed the end of last season. We can talk about all of that coming up after a check of traffic. More Ben Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, I'm going to tell you about Prize Picks, daily fantasy for everyone, over 10 million members. And by the way, that was important to me when they approached me about trying Prize Picks and said, hey, we want you to talk about this on the radio. I wanted to make sure I wasn't just jumping in with a fly-by-night operation. Prize Picks has tons of members. They've paid out billions of dollars in winning. So they were there yesterday. They're going to be there tomorrow. You get your money fast when you win, and you can win a lot, up to 1,000 times your cash by running your game with Prize Picks. All you're doing is picking more or less on player stat projections. So essentially, you're setting a fantasy lineup every day between 2 and 6 players. And in baseball season, really fun to do. Like yesterday, Randy Vasquez strikeouts, more or less. Manny Machado hits, more or less. Put them in your lineup and win real money with Prize Picks. When you download the app at prizepicks.com, make sure you use the code KWFN. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code KWFN. Get $50 instantly when you play your first $5 lineup. So that's a bunch of free play to get you started here at the end of basketball season, as well. The playoffs coming up. Lots of opportunities. You can cross your sports together however you want to play. Prize Picks, run your game. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for details.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Don't Do This is brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com. This is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. That was your best yet.
Thank you.
I felt the emotion.
Yeah.
Really, you
got in a character.
You sold it. Yeah, you got a character fully. All right, I will start. I always like to reserve judgment, at least, when you don't have a ton of details and no charges were filed. But at some point, you lose the benefit of the doubt in DDT. And
maybe you stop dating, stop getting married. How about that? Maybe you're not meant for relationships.
Tyreek Hill is well on his way to the DDT Hall of Fame. Police yesterday called to the home of the Miami Dolphins wide receiver for a domestic dispute. Actually, was on Monday, according to the Sunny Isles Beach Police Department. Sounds like a pleasant place.
It does.
Officers responded to a call from Hill's mother-in-law, who told them Hill was, quote, very aggressive and impulsive, and that she was afraid for her daughter. According to the mother-in-law, Hill and his wife, Kita Vaccaro, got into an argument. He threw her laptop to the floor before grabbing their 4-month-old daughter and heading to the balcony of their 35th floor apartment.
It's terrifying.
Yeah, that is pretty scary sounding. According to TMZ, Hill was served with divorce papers the next day.
Yeah, man. This is like 12 incidents with Tyreek Hill. Maybe you stay.
Fool me once.
Maybe you just stay single. How about that? Just stay single. Just don't date anyone and don't attack women. I mean,
drive cars.
Or drive cars super fast.
Carry weapons.
Yeah.
Just a lot of things probably
dude.
he shouldn't be doing at this point.
Did he beat up his kid too?
I'm losing track, honestly.
Yeah, I am too.
I mean, he's not Antonio Brown yet, but
he's close.
Yeah, it's starting to get in that direction.
It's really, really close. Listen, anytime you're a professional baseball team and you have a chance to twice in a week take a dump on probably your most famous former player, Roberto Clemente. You got to do it. You have to do it. Pittsburgh Pirates are trying to explain away again the disappearance of fan-funded Bucko bricks and the delay in their return to PNC Park.
Are these like the bricks in
Gallagher
Square?
Correct.
Fan bricks? If they just disappeared one day, I think Padres fans might be unhappy.
We have a brick. We have a family brick.
Too.
It's not cheap. It was not cheap to get. I would be pretty pissed if the Padres dug it up and threw it in a recycling plant, which is exactly what happened to the Bucko bricks at PNC Park. They'd been removed as part of renovations done outside the stadium, and they missed their goal of having a new display that was going to list everybody's name on it, ready for their home opener on April 4th. 10,000 of these things were sold back in 1999. Messages honoring deceased family members, leading to some, people. They're like, hey, man, I bought this brick for my dad who died, who loved the Pirates. I would come here at games and go to his brick. Touch the brick, see the brick, whatever. Well, they yanked them all up. The fans started looking, going, where's my brick? My brick is gone. And then they did a little digging. And again, they found them at a recycling plant in the area. They just dumped them. They dumped them.
Pirates have a big, maybe they won't notice 5 going this
100%. They just covered
Put
up.
An ad up on Roberto Clemente's number. Dig up the bricks. Hey, maybe no one notices we do these things. Yeah, people do notice.
Now, the proceeds from those bricks, by the way, went to the Roberto Clemente Foundation. What else can you do to this family in the last week? So they just can't get out of their own way.
Seems like a pretty easy one to avoid.
Yes. Yeah.
Nothing but positive vibes for our most beloved member of our organization.
Correct. Who died, by the way, on a missionary mission, delivering food and water to a ravaged country. Died in a plane crash. Like,
teams are allowed to make upgrades. They're allowed to make changes to their ballpark.
Yep.
But if it has anything to do with Roberto Clemente, maybe just play it forward in your head.
Yes.
Just take 5 seconds and go, how will this go over?
Yeah. So they said, we respect, appreciate, and understand just how meaningful these messages are. We share in that feeling. We've been actively planning to develop and unveil a more permanent display for these special messages to honor the enduring support that our fans shared then and continue to share in our future. We look forward to sharing those details soon in celebration of our 25th season at PNC. Man. Everything they do is wrong.
It's not a great franchise.
It's not a great franchise.
All right, finally, do this.
DD mega do.
You know what? I'm going to make it a do this because anyone who can overcome this kind of diversity, and at least try on the road back, deserves some credit. And I am talking about Indianapolis Colts veteran offensive tackle Braden Smith. What a story this is. So Braden Smith missed the last 5 games of last season. It was referred to as a personal matter, but they didn't get into the details. He was going through something privately. But now, in an interview with the Indianapolis Star, Smith is talking about why he left the team. And Smith was battling a particularly rare and unique form of obsessive compulsive disorder. I had never heard of this, but it's called religious scrupulosity. The 29-year-old, according to the International OCD Foundation, religious scrupulosity differs from the healthy practice of religion because it's driven by anxiety over engaging in actions that might offend God or be seen as blasphemous. This creates obsessive behavior, including constant prayer, repeated repentance that begins to dominate a person's daily life. And Smith said, I was physically present, but I was nowhere to be found. I didn't care about playing football. I didn't care about hanging out with my family, my wife, my newborn. I was a month away from putting a bullet through my brain. He would spend hours a day just praying and praying for forgiveness because he felt like he had done something wrong or committed a sin. Anytime he had like a bad thought that went through his head, he then had to spend minutes or hours like trying to pray it away, feeling the anxiety and the guilt that came with it. Now, what's also interesting is how he has gotten it treated, and he is back with the Colts for the off season. He began seeing a psychologist after confiding in his wife, and then he went to Mexico where he started using a psychedelic that is not legal in the United States, but has shown some promise in treating mental health in scientific studies. Said it's helped him quite a bit, and he's back. He reworked his contract with the Colts and is back. Good player, 29-year-old, trying to resume his football career after this incredible battle with OCD.
How wild is that? Goes to Mexico and takes some, ayahuasca type root or something, and completely has made the turnaround. The anxiety brain, man, is one that it's hard to, if you don't live it, it's hard to understand. The obsessive compulsive disorder is, if you don't live it or live with someone with it, it's hard to understand. Getting that thought in your head and having to get it just rattling around up there all day, to the fact where it's like, no, I'm going to burn in hell, so I need to pray this away all day. Yeah, it's going to take your focus off of things like football and your family and all of that. Just what a crazy story, but what a great comeback for him. It's incredible.
And that is Don't and Do This for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Can get you an early Masters update if you'd like when we come back.
I would like it.
Plus, go through the rest of Major League Baseball yesterday as the Dodgers tried to avoid a sweep, a walk-off in the Giants-Reds game, and more. We will recap it all coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Well, it's my favorite thing to talk about because they are a total life-changing place. It's QC Kinetics. Have a very dear friend that texted me last night. Hey, I'm thinking about going to QC Kinetics. What can I expect? So I told him. So he went and did his own research, Ben. He went on the Google review and found a review from Bill that said, my elbow was killing me. I couldn't hardly pick up my surfboard, couldn't work out, couldn't hit a volleyball. It kept me up at night. I heard about this place from Woodsy on 97.3 The Fan. I was still skeptical, but the pain sucked. Just got my last injection today. I'm back to surfing, volleyball, working out. They rock. By the way, Carla is wonderful. Thanks, guys. It's the exact same review that I would leave. The thing that put me over the edge and sent me to QC Kinetics was when, at the time, I bent down to pick up my 2-year-old, and I couldn't do it. I physically couldn't lift him. And I said, all right, we've got a problem now. You've got a problem, and it's your terrible wrists. And went into QC Kinetics, got treatment on both wrists.
You got a problem.
I just said I did. It was my wrists. But went in, QC Kinetics, got treatment, 5 treatments in each wrist. Over the course of about 5-6 weeks, whatever. And now back to doing everything that I love to do. And it is 100% thanks to QC Kinetics. So if you're living with that joint pain right now, like I was, like Bill was, get back to surfing, get back to playing golf, whatever it is. Call them today, 619-614-PAIN. That's 619-614-PAIN. They are QC Kinetics, locations in Torrey Hills and Hillcrest. Free consultation when you call 619-614-PAIN.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Still very, very early in the Masters tournament in Augusta, Georgia, but the golfers are on the course. The lowest scores so far, 2 under par. You got 5 golfers currently at 2 under. Chris Kirk, Aaron Rai, Brian Harmon, lefty, who's just coming off a win, Steven Jaeger, and Joaquin Niemann, all at 2 under par on the front 9. And then a bunch of guys at 1 under, including former champ Zach Johnson, San Diego's Michael Kim at 1 under par, Corey Connors at 1 under par, a few others, and then some of the leaders just getting teed off, or some of the top
favorites.
players. Yeah, Scotty Scheffler just played his first hole, made a par. He's at even as he gets his defense of the green jacket title, going for his 3rd win in 4 years at Augusta National. Really, all the top 3 players in the world, all playing for history. I believe only Jack Nicklaus has ever won 3 Masters in a 4-year period. So Scotty Scheffler can match that.
Yep.
Rory McIlroy obviously is going for the career Grand Slam, which would be a huge golf history if he would win. They're kind of the 2 biggest favorites. But then the number 3 player in the world, who really not many people are talking about, is Xander Schauffele, who, of course, won twice last year. And if he won the Masters, he would currently hold 3 major titles. Only 3 golfers in history have ever held at least 3 modern major titles at the same time. Tiger Woods, of course, had the Tiger Slam, held all 4, but Jack Nicklaus and Ben Hogan are the only 2 other guys who have ever had 3 at the same time, and Xander can do that with a win this week at the Masters.
We're in a Masters pool with Chris L.O. and Matt Scraby, and Dominic just said Scraby was complaining that you stole his picks in the Masters draft.
You can't steal someone's picks. There's a draft order. I happen to go in front of him and pick guys that he wanted to pick. You have Scotty Scheffler.
I do.
Ludwig Oberg.
Yep.
Tommy Fleetwood and Tony Finau.
That's right.
I picked Rory,
Yep.
Shane Lowry, Bryson DeChambeau, and Corey Connors.
Good picks.
Let's see. Chris has Colin Morikawa, Cam Smith, Joaquin Niemann, and Will Zalatoris, long shot. And then Scraby ended up with John Rahm, Brooks Koepka, Victor Hovland, and Jordan Spieth.
Good picks. Good picks all.
No one picked Xander, though.
Nobody. Damn
it. I think that's because of the form. He was injured, he had a rib cage injury, missed most of the first 2 months of the year, has only played 3 or 4 times since. Although his last outing, he looked like he was starting to get better into form. So we'll see how he plays this week. Certainly no reason he can't. He's finished 2nd at Augusta. I think he's been top 10 most of the last 6 years. So there's no reason to think that Xander can't be a factor this week.
What time will that tournament wrap up on Sunday, Ben?
Usually around 3 o'clock. You get a game?
They have a game at 1.
Yeah.
Not ideal, all the things I have planned this week. My Masters viewing is going to be very, very limited this weekend, but I will try to catch it when I can. I do love the tournament very much. I like all the pomp and circumstance. I like all the funny stories. I like the difficulty of the course. They were interviewing guys yesterday. They said, hey, what would a 15 handicap who's never played here, would they break 100? And almost to a man, everyone said, absolutely not. I mean, there's just no chance.
I don't think I could. I might not break 100.
No.
Especially playing from the back tees.
Well, they said play wherever you want. You're not going to break 100.
Well, I don't know if they even have other tees at Augusta.
They just have the tees. Ones, the tees.
The tees where you play.
Like the women members play there too?
They do have women members now.
Yep.
And they must have some sort of forward tees
right.
at this point. It'd just be too hard it's too hard for most people to play at 7 7,400 yards or whatever they had it set at now. 7,555 yards. It's almost as long as Torrey Pines now.
Yeah.
And plus all the treacherous greens and the creeks and the trees, everything they've got.
The hilliest place on the planet.
You don't really see that on TV,
right.
but incredible slopes. And on the greens, too, they're very, very sloped. So,
I watched the par 3 contest yesterday, a little bit of it. I was at the gym.
Poppy McElroy?
So Poppy McElroy is Rory's little daughter. And she stepped up, Paulie. She had about a 20-footer downhill.
Straight downhill.
When I tell you that this little girl walks up with dad's putter, has no idea how to hold it, you know, she's 3 or something. Paulie, when I tell you she tapped it this, ready?
That's like
she tapped it an inch and it rolled 20 feet down right in the hole.
Took about 30 seconds.
Yeah, to go all the way down.
And Rory and Shane Lowry were both standing there like watching and going, this has a chance to go in. They're like watching it just trickle slowly down the hill. And then with about 4 feet, Shane Lowry like puts his arms in there like, this is going to go in. And like 5 seconds later, it finally dropped. She didn't even know. She was like, why is everyone so happy?
Well, it's really sweet when a 3-year-old drains a 20-footer. But the thing that I took away from it was she barely touched it. And it just scooted.
You don't even see her touching it. It just starts rolling just ever so slightly and then never stops until it goes in the hole.
You know, and again, not the world's biggest golfer, but it is on, I would say, we talked about bucket lists and stuff before. I would like to do it. I would like to find a way to go out and spend a few days out there at some point in my life. I think it'd be a very worthwhile trip. Once in a lifetime. Would love to go out with my dad. Would love to go out with you, Benny. We'd have a great time out there. I'd be calling
You'll need a member to take you. There's no
I mean to the tournament.
Oh, no,
to go to the
not
tournament.
To play.
No, I don't want to play.
Just as a patron.
You could offer me 18 holes and I would decline it. There's no way.
They do say, anyone who's been there said they treat everybody better than you'd be treated at any other sporting event. So if you're a patron, you get treated better than you're being a fan at anywhere else.
Yeah.
If you're a member of the media, you're treated better than anywhere else you'd ever be. If you're a caddy, you're treated better than anywhere else. And of course, if you're a player, the treatment is unbelievable how great it is for everybody at the Masters.
Do you submit a media credential every year? Do you try to get
I haven't.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, it's on the other side of the country.
So what?
I don't feel like I deserve to be there. I'm not covering the tournament.
You're literally covering it right as we speak.
I know, but I'm talking about it.
Why wouldn't you do that?
Covering it.
At some point, if I had a true reason to go cover it, I guess I should. I mean,
it's actually kind of dumb that you don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Go there once at least.
Go there once to cover it.
I could go cover They have 3 San Diego State golfers. Xander.
Right.
I'm going to apply. I don't even want to go. I'm going to apply just to show you that it's possible. And if I get it, you're going to be so
I know if I mentioned
mad.
the story, but a kid who's currently on the team at San Diego State, Justin Hastings.
Yes, I saw that.
Won the Latin America Amateur. He's from the Cayman Islands, which has 1 golf course on the entire island. Grew up there.
I bet he's really good at that.
He got a scholarship, played at San Diego State, won this Latin America Amateur, which comes with an invitation to the Masters. So he's there, staying in the crow's nest with the other amateurs and having, I would assume, the experience of a lifetime.
I'm actually, my wife actually submits for the lottery every year. We never win it. I'm actually surprised that you haven't applied for a media credential. You're like, it's across the country. So what? You'd fly to cover the Masters.
That's true.
You've gone across the country just to play golf.
That's true. You went across the country to a concert. You'll go across the country to go cover the Masters. It would be incredible.
All right, I'm going to apply next year.
All right, next year you have to apply.
Hey, can you do a walking video from the 14th green?
I will do.
He'll do all the videos. That's
they're
allowed. You're not actually
allowed to do.
It's funny.
You're allowed to do.
We tell these stories every
Can I
year.
get a live reaction video.
Actually, Adam, I can't. My cell phone is not allowed on the course. You
Can
can't
you just find another area.
Yeah. Adam, I'm telling you, they're going to throw me in prison. They might give me the chair here if they catch me with my phone. I love these master stories that I've heard trickle down over the years. But so do you know this, Paula? You can go out, you could find a spot on the 14th green, and you have your chair and I think they have your name on it, and you just plop your chair there. No one can sit in it. Like you can,
no one touches it.
No one touches it. You can stake your claim.
Even if you only come back for an hour during the day,
come back for 3 minutes. Your chair will be there and empty. They do things, this strange way. And my dad tells the story. Used to play with a couple of guys on the tour, had heard these stories, trickled down, over the years, but it's very difficult to get an invite to join. If I want to join La Costa, right? I go in and I sit down in the membership office and they say, hey, you stroke us a check for 50 grand and you're in, and that's the locker room and welcome to the club, right? For most places around here. Augusta, you have to be asked and invited, and it's a big process. There's vetting. There's all kinds of things that go down. And apparently there was this kind of young upstart physician that lived in Augusta, Georgia. And he was kind of the new guy on the scene. And then we like this guy. Let's start vetting him. So they vet him.
Probably was the doctor for a lot of the members.
Yeah, exactly. I like this sharp young guy.
And he's like, okay, this guy,
he's one of us.
Meets our membership criteria.
So they sit him down, they vet him the whole bit. And they said, well, best day of your life, kid. You're now a member at Augusta. And he said, oh my God, I can't believe it. So he strokes the check and he's in, and they give him his locker and his jacket and everything else. And so they started noticing that dude would show up to the course every single day, and he was always there. I mean, he was a doctor, but like when his shift was over,
as many golf members do at their home courses.
Oh yeah,
that's where you practice, where you play. Yep. You want to work on your game, you go and you play at your course.
But he was there every day. He was hanging out, he was chipping and putting and hitting off the range and playing and doing everything that a guy does that's just joined the best country club in the world. And in fact, he was there so much that they had to call him into the principal's office and say, hey, bud, welcome again, but you need to be here less. And he's like, well, I don't understand. I'm a member here. Yeah, but you're here too much.
Uncouth.
We're kind of tired of seeing your face here.
Part of the membership privileges is that
you can't come.
You're only going to come play a couple times a year. It's not an everyday sort of course.
We don't want you here every day. But I'm literally a member. I literally pay membership dues. Yeah, but you can't be here every day. So make yourself scarce.
We don't want to see you for a while.
Is there anything worse than living in Augusta, practicing in Augusta, belonging to Augusta, and you can't go to Augusta?
You still have to go to the Muni to
play with your buddy. Your buddies are wearing you out to go play. No, can't. I'm not even allowed to go there.
It's my own course.
But you're a member. But I can't. They don't.
They're going to kill me.
They will kill me. I've shown my face too much. Just a crazy, crazy place. Yeah. And I think they have 300 members. And they say that, some of the biggest, like Warren Buffett's a member. They play once a year.
Yeah.
Once.
And the 300 members, there may be only 4 foursomes that go out all day on a day that's not around the tournament. It's like, and they're closed, by the way. As soon as the Masters is over, they are closed for the entire summer.
Correct.
For, just to keep the course in shape. They don't want to play it during the heat. So it won't open again until the fall for members.
Insane. It's absolutely in the summer. You can't go play golf at Augusta.
Can't go play golf at all.
That you're a member of. Yeah. It's just insane.
Yeah. It's a different world.
No, it's stupid. Yeah. KG says that sounds really stupid, honestly. It does. It absolutely does. And, I join a club. I'm going to be there every day.
I'm sure all 300 members are also members at other clubs that they don't mind seeing them a little more.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, let's check traffic. We'll get into the story of yesterday's baseball diamond results next year with Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by MTS. Take the trolley to the game, running every 15 minutes or better. Still some foggy conditions around parts of the county, guys. Yeah, they're going to keep that dense fog advisory in effect till 9 o'clock this morning, so plan for that. Right now, an accident northbound side of the 5, right before the 54. Got a car and pickup truck involved in this one. They're over to the right shoulder, and we've got a stalled transit bus on the Camino de la Plaza off-ramp, southbound 5. Don't let traffic drag your day down, whether you're headed to the office or game day. Go the easy way with MTS. Trolleys run every 15 minutes or better throughout the day. Learn more and plan your trolley trip at sdmts.com. That's sdmts.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
The Dodgers were dangerously close to getting swept by the Washington Nationals yesterday in D.C. Had to rally with a couple of runs in the 7th inning, including an Andy Pages home run and a Teoscar.
Never opened my mouth.
I know you did. You
He's hit like 2 home runs since. He made a great catch.
And they beat the Nationals 6-5 to salvage the finale of that 3-game series, becoming the second team in baseball to get to 10 wins after the Padres in one extra game.
Yeah.
And later in the day.
That's right.
So really not that impressive, actually.
Hang the banner.
The Giants also had a big walk-off win at home, a splashdown extra inning home run by Mike Yastrzemski in the bottom of the 10th inning to beat the Cincinnati Reds 8-6 in that series. And they actually completed their season series. They salvaged the last game after losing the first two, finished 3-3 against the Reds in their entire season series yesterday.
It's funny. It's definitely too early to look at the standings as much as I have been
Well, it's fun to look at the standings when your team's on top. I mean, when your team's in third or fourth, you can go weeks at this point of the season without looking at the standings because it doesn't matter. It's early. When your team's on top, it's fun.
I absolutely do the bit too. Like the Padres game ended yesterday. I clicked on my MLB app and said, "Oh,
the standings."
I said, "Oh, Dodgers are playing right now. Let's see how this ends." And they had the Nationals had runners at second and third, and noted new Dodger killer James Wood at the plate. Blake Trinan did get him to roll over to second base, and Dodgers were able to salvage that win. Kike Hernandez made an absolutely fantastic play at first base, but they were able to scratch one out against the Washington Nationals. So if you're the Nationals, you got to feel pretty good taking 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. I know you were facing some of their lower tier pitchers, right? You ran into Wisniewski and Knack yesterday. I don't know who threw the first game, but they took 2 or 3 from the Dodgers. That's something to build on.
Diamondbacks came back to take 2 or 3 from the Orioles, winning yesterday's rubber game 9-0 behind Brandon Pfaadt's 6 shutout innings and plenty of offense. Corbin Carroll has been having a really nice start to the season. Hit his 5th home run.
Wow.
His OPS is now, quick math, 1164 to start the year. So Corbin Carroll is red hot. Josh Naylor is also getting off to a decent start, hitting 340 with a home run yesterday. So the Diamondbacks heating up a little bit after a bit of a slower start. They're above 500 at 7-6. And we mentioned the Rockies who are coming to town. They have one more against the Brewers today, but they got bodied 17-2 yesterday at home to drop to an MLB worst 2-9 on the season. Same record as the Braves actually,
yep.
2-9, who lost to the Phillies 4-3 in a close one. But the Trey Turner had a 9th inning home run to put them ahead, and they ended up winning on the road 4-3.
Yep. Saw most of that yesterday. Saw a terrible collision at home. Did you see the collision at home plate?
I did not.
Pirates. It was a pop fly in the infield. The catcher goes up to get it, and the first baseman comes crashing in. And there's a runner on third. And the catcher, it was I think it was Joey Bart and somebody else, the first baseman for the Pirates, ran in and they collided, trucked him. The same team, right? Yep. The ball squirts out. The pitcher has the wherewithal to pick the ball up and run and tag the guy that was trying to score from third, but that one guy looked like he was knocked out completely.
Not even the worst thing I saw. Did you see how the White Sox lost yesterday?
Oh, dude. Did you see this, God. Benny? Oh, man. When it rains, it pours for the Chicago White Sox. They got the tying run on second base. They get a knock. Mike Tauchman is tearing ass around. He's about to score the tying run, hits third base, tweaks something, and hits the deck.
Bottom of the night.
I didn't see that one, man.
Yeah.
He, as he was rounding third, he came up and just started hobbling and kind of just gingerly walked towards the plate, and the catcher was just waiting with the ball. Absolutely would have scored. He was recovering from a hamstring injury, and it flared up on him as he was rounding third.
What was the game where the two guys collided trying to catch a pop-up on the third base line in front of home plate? Did you see this one? And the runner was going to score, but he had to go around both of them, and then the catcher picked it up and tagged him before he got to home plate.
That wasn't even the worst thing I saw yesterday. Did you see how the White Sox game ended?
I thought was that the same one? Oh, I thought you said that Mike Tauchman got hurt going around third. No, I that's not what I saw. I was listening. I thought you were describing something else. So I didn't realize because I didn't see the highlight with any sound. I didn't see the highlight with any sound. I didn't think Mike Tauchman got hurt on that play. I thought he just was obstructed by the runners at home. I didn't know the story. So I was
two
confused.
Different games.
I am so confused now.
We talked about the collision for 3 minutes.
You said rounding third. He got
that was
hurt.
A different game.
I told 2 stories.
I'm lost now. I'm lost.
I don't know.
What do you do?
I'm just confused now. Can you explain it to me during the break? Because I am totally
We talked about that game for
lost.
3 minutes. And then we moved on to a different game, and then you go, hey, by the way, did you see what happened?
No, I didn't know what game I was watching. I saw the highlight. I had no idea what game it was.
All right. We got to go to break.
I'm lost. Really? We'll be back.
As usual. Welcome back. Halfway home. Not really. Got a round table today at 10. Brought to you by Round Table Pizza. The last honest pizza. Still don't know what that necessarily means. But that's a topic for another day. I'm Woods. That's Paul. And this is Ben.
I'm still confused, actually.
I know.
I tried to get them to explain it to me.
We tried.
So Mike Talkman.
Stop. Just stop entirely. We have people in the chat asking, Ben, do you smell burnt toast right now? Somebody said, I walked away and thought I took LSD when I turned on the radio and heard you bring up the story that I had already told. Paulie, do you have the audio? Because I want to make sure it's clear to Benjamin.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Paulie's working. There's a little.
I guess I
delay.
feel bad if I was like sitting here watching the Masters, but I was literally on the MLB scores page, and so that's what we were talking about.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out what game I was what I saw the highlight for, because I was watching it yesterday with no sound. I didn't even see what game it was. I just saw a collision at home plate.
Yeah. Is the termite juice getting to you?
Maybe. We did get back into our house last night. The termite tent is off, and yeah, you kind of wonder, well, like, is there like a residue?
Yeah,
there wasn't much of a
100%.
smell or anything.
No.
We kept the windows up. We opened the windows up and aired it out a little bit. But
did you eat any of the food?
I washed every dish in the house.
That's
I
smart.
Went two cycles of and then did some laundry, did the sheets, and made sure everything was clean.
Maybe you do. Maybe you did have a little gas getting to you. Have you been smoking marijuana? That's something that happens to marijuana. The effects of loose cannabis on the brain can make you forget things. Right? We've had it. This has happened before. This is like a thing.
All right, here we go.
All right.
This was, 10 minutes ago?
The first baseman for the Pirates ran in and they collided. Trucked him. The same team, right?
Yep.
The ball squirts out. The pitcher has the wherewithal to pick the ball up and run and tag the guy that was trying to score from third, but that one guy looked like he was knocked out completely.
Not even the worst thing I saw. Did you see how the White Sox lost yesterday?
Oh, dude. Did you see this, Benny? Oh, man. When it rains, it pours for the Chicago White Sox.
What was the game where the two guys collided trying to catch a pop-up and on the third base line in front of home plate? Did you see this one? And the runner was going to score, but he had to go around both of them, and then the catcher picked it up and tagged him before he got to home plate.
That wasn't even the worst thing I saw yesterday. Did you see how the White Sox game ended?
I thought that was that the same one?
Bring it up.
I thought you said that Mike Talkman got hurt going around third. I definitely thought you were talking about the same game all the way through.
No, because he said that's not even the worst thing that I saw.
I did not catch the transition, and I thought you were still talking about the same game. That's what I missed. I did miss something apparently there.
Well, you missed my story,
yes,
the Mike Talkman story.
I thought your story and the Mike Talkman story were the same.
I thought you said I was all right, Spider. I'm not. No, you're not all right.
That's okay. Now that I hear it back, I thought you were talking all about the same game, and I didn't. That's where I lost. I missed the transition between one to the other.
Do you see now why
you didn't bring up, when you told the story, you didn't bring up any team names.
Yeah, I said the Pirates.
When the audio there, what you just played said just the first baseman ran in.
Well, I
and
cut
hit,
it off.
Yeah, to cut it, but
I can go back a few minutes.
Was talking
another minute before that? We were definitely talking about the Pirates and Cardinals game.
You know, when
I just didn't. I missed the transition. I thought we were still talking about the same game, and it wasn't Mike Talkman, and that's why I was so confused.
Right. You know, when I say sometimes I don't feel seen or heard. This is what I'm referring to. It's my cross to bear, I guess.
Is there something I should be doing differently?
Listen, Ben. Just listen. Just engage.
If I did that,
engage.
I would then there would be long periods of silence because I won't know what I need to say next. My brain doesn't work
That's
that
the
way.
job.
I have to be starting to look and plan ahead.
Minimize your computer. Minimize everything on your screen.
Okay.
Okay. Look at me.
Okay.
How's your day yesterday?
Day was good.
Good.
Yeah. Day was
at home,
good.
you see the collision at home plate?
I did not.
Pirates. It was a pop fly in the infield. And the catcher goes up to get it, and the first baseman comes crashing in.
tell the whole story. Then I say, "Oh my God, did you see what happened in the White Sox?
The White Sox game, different game."
And then, hey, did you see that collision?
This is incredible.
I get it. I do. I understand what you're saying, and I love that you are so present and you can be you. But my job
that feels like a shot at me.
But my job is to also kind of direct the show.
This is not. This is your.
That's your for the next segment and the liners and everything. So I'm often looking at different things when you guys are talking.
No, that's not your job.
I feel like that's the big part of my job.
It's
like
not
the main part of my job.
The main part of your job is
Adam.
We are here. We are here to have conversations with each other. Not I speak, then you bloviate, then I bloviate, then you bloviate.
Well,
That's not
anyone can just have conversations with each other, but we have to make it in such a way that it makes money for the radio station,
right? But I feel like we do a pretty good job about that.
That's my role in making sure that we do all the.
That feels like a cop. That feels like a big cop.
You've gone to that well.
You've gone to the well
times.
a few times. I do. I think you've gone to that well. I don't agree. It's just I'm engaged in this conversation with you, right? Like you're engaged with me. And so the liner for Robert Half can wait because we're talking about baseball. We're talking about, whatever the topic on the table is. And if you're not listening to what your partner says, you can see how your partner would be hurt.
I feel like Ray in the chat says, Ben, don't you flip this on them.
He's flipping it.
I'm going to flip it a little bit because I feel like I should be appreciated for being the one who constantly is worrying about the other things that don't involve just being present. That I am thinking about the next topic within the segment, the next segment and the tease and the next liner that we might have to get in the spot that's coming up in just a second.
No, that's massively unimportant.
It's not. It's the only reason we're here.
Mm-hmm. It's massively unimportant. What is most important is the content of this radio show. Always.
But it isn't that
you're gaslighting me. Yes, this is gaslighting. I'm being gaslit.
No, I'm not saying you're doing.
I get it at home. I get it at work.
I'm not saying you're doing anything wrong. You're doing what you should be doing.
But I can't.
That's why we work so well together.
But I don't want to sit and talk to myself in the ether. Blah, 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 blah. And then you go, coming up next is Robert. Like, that's not fun. That's not fun. I want you to engage in a conversation. It's Ben lighting.
I try to, but sometimes I'm going to miss some things while I am planning.
Dominic Silva says, Woods is going to send an advice request to himself. What do I do if my partner doesn't listen to me in any and all facets of my life? Anybody see that collision at home plate yesterday? It was really, really good. Yeah, I do feel like you're gaslighting a little bit. That is a little bit of gaslighting. Victim blaming.
You're not a victim.
I'm a victim.
A victim of what?
A victim of being ignored.
Of having a co-host who cares about the mechanics of the show.
I mean, I love good radio, but the best radio is when people are having a conversation. Oftentimes they agree.
Well, the best radio would be if we just had a conversation, the three of us, for 4 hours and never stopped.
That's what we try to do.
Never had any commercials.
Well, that's not going to happen.
Had any teases, and we just kept going, and we're totally present in the moment for 4 hours.
How about this?
We wouldn't get paid to do that.
How about the paid bit is tired. It's super tired. I'll do the liners from now on. You don't have to do any liners ever again.
We're not here because we're good at reading liners.
Correct.
That's a part of the job.
Your value is not because you read liners well. Your value is that you're a funny, inquisitive person.
We just need to listen a little better.
This segment of Ben and Woods is brought to you by Frozen Robes San Diego. Hey, parents, here's a message from Coach Kurt at Frozen Robes. Is your child 6 to 12 years old? Baseball Summer League is the perfect fit for your player. Starting June 16th through August 17th. Summer League includes 8 of practices, which makes no sense. 8 games. Register by April 30th. Save $100. Go to SanDiegoFrozenRobes.com. There you go.
I think fundamentally, I do feel like I'm here for that, though. And maybe that's
so much more than that.
That's on me.
I don't want you to think like that, Ben.
I do think like that.
You don't need
just for your own well-being. Don't sell yourself short.
David J says, how on earth are you be able to have this conversation and read the comments at the same time? I can do that. My brain is wired that way. I've always been able to do it. I can also text my wife at the exact same time and say, yes, I am talking about you when I say you also do this to me at home. It's fine. It's all good. 2 Christmases, yeah, for the tier 1s now. 2 Christmases.
I Need Money says, I tune in strictly for Ben's liners.
Liners, yeah, no one tunes in for your
I know
liners.
they're not tuning in for them, but they have to happen.
So by that logic, you should just sit there and Paul and I should chat and then you can hit your liners? I don't think so.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm kind of emotional here.
Are you upset?
A little bit.
Why?
Yeah.
Why? You're stewing. I think you're mad crying right now.
I'm not mad. No. I actually appreciate that you think
you're so much more than the mechanic.
I appreciate that you think that. I really do.
You are. This is really good radio, by the way. Really good. Hey, you're so much more than just a driver of the ship. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
Is he gaslighting me by crying right now? Because now I feel like I need to apologize.
You need a hug?
No, I appreciate that.
I'll give you a hug. Let's go to break, Paulie.
Yeah, we'll go to break.
You're right back.
Love you, Ben.
Love you, Benny.
You're so much more. Hey,
you're so much better.
That is not your job.
That's not your job.
Part of your job.
It's never been
it
your job.
Part of your job.
I don't care if you ever do
We need
it.
a contestant for real.
He's BSing right now. That was BS.
That was trying to be funny.
Thank you for
because you need mechanics.
tuning in for a very special episode of Ben and Woods After School Special.
We'll be right back.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place. Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Are we back?
We're back.
Are we here? Are we present?
We are. We are here. We are present. Holy
I think I'm
cow!
okay.
Are you good?
Yeah.
We were
Weird.
talking about it in the break. You got emotional about it. Your value is so much more to me as a friend and as a co-host than I hate that you see yourself as just a guy that has to read the liners and to make sure we get paid and handle all the business, because you are like legitimately one of the most interesting, funny, kind people I've ever met.
Mhm.
And
You're a unicorn.
100%. There's no one like you. No one. All the people I've known in my whole life, you are one of one. Truly one of one.
I don't see myself that way.
But you should. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, I think I feel very responsible all the time. You know? Like,
you got to let your hair down a little bit.
Maybe.
Dan says, Ben's the glue that keeps the show together. Without him, the show wouldn't even know what direction is going. You do a lot that people don't acknowledge it. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Like, you're going to be gone in a couple weeks. And I never like hosting, because guess what I don't like doing? Reading all those liners. I'm bad at it. I don't know when we do traffic. I'm a different personality. That's why we always have worked well together. But I don't want you to ever pigeonhole yourself into thinking, I'm just here to keep the show on track. No, you're a personality, a big one. And the value that you bring is way beyond that. The reading of the liners. You know how I roll. If we don't read liners and we get our ass chewed for it, I'll wear it. I don't care. You know what? Sorry to our clients. We were in the middle of something we forgot. We'll make it up to you, right?
I mean, I don't think of myself as only the guy that presses the fart button.
100%.
Woods doesn't think of himself as, he's just here to help come up with funny prank phone calls.
Right.
Or something. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it's a part of what we do.
Sure.
But you bring so much more than just the liners, Benny.
Yeah, you're a beast. You're a radio beast.
To come up with all of our fun games every day.
Yeah, you do. Like Take on Woods.
And Real or Fake.
Exactly. Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan.
Would you
tell the people what they'll win today?
Would you consider going to Mexico and trying some of that root
Maybe.
that guy that guy ate?
I think we've got a good game
You're a sweet
today
angel.
for us.
I need you to come. Give me a hug. I love you.
That was the worst shot of our midsection while we were
bumping
Wasn't
together.
great. Ollie, thank you for that.
You're welcome.
We got John as our contestant today. Hello, John. How are you?
Doing well. How are you guys?
You're just walking into the middle of something here. See if we can hook you up with a prize. If you can get 4 of 7 right, at least, you will qualify for a chance at our grand prize. 2 tickets to either Disturbed, Ghost, or Pantera in Las Vegas, plus a 2-night stay at the MGM Grand and a $150 gift card. Get your tickets for all 3 shows now at Ticketmaster.com. All right, these ones actually have some stories to them. My folks at My Golf Spy get credit for this one. They released a list this week. We were just talking about it. Augusta National Golf Club facts that are real but sound fake. So your job, John, is to figure out which ones are really real and which ones are actually fake that I've come up with that didn't make this list. So I will, you can ask Woods for help at any time. We've got 7 of them here. Are you ready to play?
Do it.
All right, let's go. Real or fake Augusta National Golf Club fact. There is one random house located in the middle of the Masters parking lot. Real or fake?
You can ask me. You can ask me for help.
That sounds real.
Woods agrees, and you are right. Yeah, parking's free at the Masters because Augusta bought all the land around the course, but Then they offered like over market value to get people to move out of their houses so they could tear them down for parking. But there was one owner who refused to sell. There's going to be a movie. Herman and Elizabeth Thacker live in the middle of the parking lot. And despite multiple generous offers from the club, the homeowners have refused to move.
How many times
to live there.
have the Thackers been MF'd in the walls of Augusta National? The stupid effing Thackers.
Will not leave.
It's probably like a curse word at Augusta. Thacker.
All right, let's go to round 2 here. John, you're off to the good start. There was once a hostage crisis inside the clubhouse at Augusta National. Real or fake, John?
Let's keep rolling. Let's go with real.
It says real. You know this one too.
Yeah,
Let's
Ronald Reagan.
Yep, 1983, Ronald Reagan was playing golf. A man named Charles Harris crashed his 74 Dodge pickup through the front gate, found the pro shop, threatened to use his .38, disarming Secret Service agents and taking 7 hostages. He demanded to talk to the president, hoping him to persuade to fix the mass layoffs happening to American steel workers. He was an out-of-the-work alcoholic. Reagan called the pro shop, tried to defuse the situation. Harris didn't believe it was him. Eventually, the Secret Service got Reagan off the property. Harris surrendered to authorities and was sentenced to 5 years in Georgia State Prison. All right, you're 2 for 2. Very good. All right, let's go to round number 3. Every Monday, divers recover all balls hit into Rays Creek to prevent a blockage from forming. Real or fake, John?
I'm gonna go. I can't imagine very many guys having very many balls in the lake, so I'm gonna say fake.
Smart. We just talked about how few people play. Yeah, that's totally fake. Made that one up.
That's a really good one.
All right. Thank you.
I would have said real.
All right. That's very good. All right. Let's try this one. Round number 4. Bobby Jones initially planned for Augusta National to be a 19-hole golf course. Real or fake, John?
Fake.
It's actually real. When he founded the course, he said, this is very human. He wanted the course to be 19 holes so losing golfers could win back their money on a double or nothing hole. But that idea was scrapped because it was going to be too expensive to try to build a
It's just one more hole.
It's just one more hole, but
the
they didn't
double
build
or
it.
nothing hole is
just
genius.
Just one. No worries. Let's go to round number 5. Augusta National chefs are prohibited from serving shrimp on the property because Chairman Fred Ridley is allergic to shellfish. Real or fake, John?
Woods, what do you got?
Man, my guess is that it's fake. It's just a guess, though. I feel like if somebody at Augusta wants shrimp, they're going to get shrimp.
Yes.
So you say
we say fake.
Fake is correct,
Yes.
and that's a win, John. Congratulations. You've done it. You scored 4 out of 5. Very well done. A couple more. Hang on the line, John. A patron was arrested for stealing sand from a bunker.
True.
Very true.
Real.
2012, Clayton Baker decided he wanted a little souvenir, grabbed some sand for his son, was arrested and thrown in jail in Augusta, had to pay $20,000 in fees, and didn't get to keep the sand.
Correct.
And then finally, the club's co-founder, Clifford Roberts, shot and killed himself on club grounds.
True story.
It's true. Clifford Roberts, the club's co-founder, who was deeply and self-admittedly racist, said that as long as he was alive, golfers of the club would be white and the caddies would be black. And at 83, when he was extremely ill with cancer nearing the end of his life, he took matters into his own hands, went to Ike's Pond by the par 3 course, and just shot himself right there on the course. Now,
absolutely
the 38
insane.
he used was confiscated by the club's security force, but it did eventually find itself into like an auction. Someone must have stolen it and was put up for bid, and then the club bought it back for $15,000 to make sure no one had their hands on it.
Wow.
There's some wild stories from Augusta National.
Wild.
Congratulations,
Very sordid
John.
past.
Yeah. Congratulations, John. All right, we will take a timeout. It is a Smart Baseball Thursday. We will talk to Eno Sarris from The Athletic about the Padres' hot start, any concerns that he has after that road trip, and maybe some Dylan Cease talk as well. All coming up with Ben and Woods next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
But if you are a homeowner, it's time to listen up. If you're looking to get cash out of your home's equity, refinance out of a high rate, or do a home improvement project, Loan Pronto can make it happen for you in a matter of days. Take advantage of this opportunity right now. Get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars out of your home's equity. Pay off your credit cards, pay off your car loans. The average homeowner cutting their monthly bills by $1,000 by doing this. Get more info at loanpronto.com. Inflation, higher costs, put a lot of people in a stressful financial situation. If you own a home, there is a way out. Loan Pronto has multiple options that can help you get the financial freedom you deserve. Most homeowners get their cash in less than 2 weeks. Most don't even need an appraisal. Do the smart thing. Stop paying insane rates on those credit cards. Wipe them all out. Get a lower mortgage rate. Get some money for that home improvement project. Starts by getting in contact with the experts at this, Loan Pronto. LoanPronto.com or call now, 619-207-4336, or again, LoanPronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the Players' Place.
You need those affirmations because they're true.
So glad that this is a roundtable Thursday. And I'm still on the clock for another 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
here.
same.
It's gonna be a day.
It's gonna be a doozy.
Yeah.
I have marriage counseling after that.
Yeah.
So that's gonna be great.
Right.
Yeah. And then I have a business meeting at 2:00. And then I have to get my tuxedo. So I've really
got my tuxedo shirt yesterday.
Just
and
the
my
shirt?
shoes arrived in the Amazon, the mail, and my suspenders. So I think I'm good to go.
I can't wait to see us.
I just needed a new shirt.
I can't wait to see us in tuxedos. It's gonna look. I think we're gonna look really good.
We might.
I think we will. Let's not do any of this at the roast.
Let's not.
No.
All right, let's talk some smart baseball. We're going to check traffic, and then when we come back, our weekly visit with our guy Eno Sarris from The Athletic coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by your local San Diego County, the UPS stores. Got a new crash on northbound 805 before 43rd. It's over to the right shoulder. Looks like a couple vehicles involved in this one. Also on the El Cajon Boulevard on-ramp to northbound 15. Accident involving a couple cars there over to the right shoulder. On the Coronado Bridge, heading off the island near the old toll plaza, we have reports of a hit-and-run crash, but not showing if any lanes are blocked. Also, North 5 Coastline, just before the racetrack, looks like someone is changing a tire. In the Center Divide, Freeway Service Patrol is going to run a brake to get that vehicle cleared over to the right shoulder. Your local San Diego County, the UPS store locations are hosting a shred event now through April 15th. 50% off shredding services. Visit theupsstore.com for the location nearest you. See store for details. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Well, here we are, Eno, 2 weeks into the baseball season, and the San Diego Padres sitting with the best record in all of baseball. Even the Padres fans here in San Diego, a little bit surprised by that. Good morning. We're feeling pretty good, though.
Yeah, not great injury news over the weekend, though.
No. Mike Schilt did say yesterday that both were doing better and expects them back into the lineup tomorrow. So, who knows how long, if, could be lingering. Just because they're playing doesn't mean they're playing at 100%, but hopefully no injury list stints for anyone other than Jackson Merrill, who's already there.
Yeah, I mean, as bad as that swing looked for Fernando Tatis Jr., I guess I was a little bit heartened to hear him say afterwards that he felt something like this before, like working out. So, it's something he's dealt with before, at least.
Yeah, it's the labrum potentially that could be the issue, and that you would hate it. It would be, I think, for us, it would feel a little bit like a torpedo sinking the ship if Fernando Tatis Jr. goes down. Now they've won without him before; they have done that, but it's not something I want to. It's not something I want to face. the prospect of going 152 more or 48 more games without that kid out in right field, especially with the start that he's had. And my opinion is you give him as much time as he needs to get right, and no need to rush him back right now. The team seems to be playing well the last couple of days without him, but yeah, it would certainly be a huge blow to this team moving forward.
Yeah, but the good news is that Cron's going to be back in there pretty quickly, and even with Merrill, they said it wasn't the worst kind of hamstring strain. It was just he just needed the 15 days.
You wrote this week in The Athletic about starting pitchers with the right stuff, but bad early season results. And I was kind of hoping when I clicked on there, I'd see Dylan Cease's name because obviously, especially after the last start with 9 runs in 3 innings, the results have been really bad. The velocity doesn't look down. I mean, should we be concerned about what we've seen from Dylan Cease so far?
I think the timing of that start actually kept him out of that piece. He would have totally made the piece if that start had finished before I started writing. Because he does have a 115 stuff plus. The slider and the fastball, as always, are elite pitches. The weirdest thing for me is that Stuff Plus really likes his 77-mile-an-hour changeup, which I don't. I think that he can't command that pitch that well, and I'm not sure that's the way out. If I was him, I would be trying to develop a cutter because I think he just needs something that he can throw for strikes when he can't throw his fastball for strikes.
Yeah, he worked on the changeup in the offseason. Like he used to throw just the eephus stupid one like once a game for like no reason. He's trying to develop into more of an actual changeup, but it's kind of hit or miss so far.
Yeah, I think so. And for somebody who has command that can go in and out, I'd rather you have a pitch that was like his fastball. I mean, I'm seeing a couple sinkers here and there. That could be it too. In terms of just a pitch that looks different that he could throw into the zone when he's having a little trouble with the fastball. So I think this is just something we see from Cease from time to time. If you look at his strikeout rate, it's the same as it was in 2023, and it's not too far from where it was last year. The walk rate's not that far off. The expected numbers are not that far off. The stuff is there. I'm not really worried about Dylan Cease.
Good. Well, if you're not worried, then I'm definitely not worried. You are always the barometer for my worry when it comes to the Padres pitching staff, especially. Eno Sarris joins us from The Athletic this morning, and I've been salivating all morning waiting to talk to somebody about this, and Paulie's watched a couple of them. Have you checked out the new Red Sox thing on Netflix?
It's fantastic.
We had Jen McCaffrey, our writer, come on, and so I've gotten some secondhand from her. I haven't been able to watch it yet.
I got to tell you, man, I to go behind the scenes, right, of a hitters meeting with a starting pitcher, and hey, this is how we're going to attack J.P. Crawford and Ryan Haniger and all these guys. I was, if you're a baseball fan, I couldn't recommend it enough. But the guy that really jumped out of the off the screen at me, other than Alex Cora, who I think is a really dynamic personality, was Andrew Bailey, who the Red Sox grabbed as their pitching coach. Mm-hmm. Dude, this guy, you especially, I mean, I think if you don't already love Andrew Bailey, I think you definitely will. Yeah, after seeing this, the way he came in and started molding, Tanner Houck and Garrett Whitlock and Brian Bello and all these guys, it's so fascinating to watch.
Yeah, and I think, one thing that happens in baseball sometimes is, and it happens in every sport, is the CYO, is the cover your ass. It's like,
yeah,
don't take any huge chances, because if it doesn't work out, everyone knows you took that chance organizationally or as a coach, and then you're out. But the Red Sox last year threw fewer four-seam fastballs than anybody had ever thrown as a team in the pitch tracking era. And he took some chances with Tanner Houck. Tanner Houck, the conventional wisdom is you need to have a four-seam or a cutter, because that sinker, you can't throw it to lefties. And he stopped throwing his four-seam and just depended on a splitter, and against lefties. And so pitched backwards against lefties, basically, and found a place to put his sinker high in the zone. So, I mean, yeah, Bailey's super smart. He's willing to take chances. And that organization as a whole has adopted this persona where they have their metrics that they believe in, that they think are predictive, and they will develop players towards those metrics. And they sort of unapologetically, like, they believe in bat speed in the minor leagues. And so they develop bat speed in the minor leagues. And so far it's been really good because it's helped Roman Anthony become better. It's helped Christian Campbell become better. And so just as an organization, I think they're doing the right things.
Well, they talked to Craig Breslow, who's the GM and president or whatever. And he says, so the pitch that's hit the hardest in Major League Baseball is a fastball, four-seam fastball. So why would we throw that the majority of the time? So they like abandon it. And to watch them, in the lab creating and showing guys pitching biomechanics and spin axis and all this stuff, and watching those players lap it up. I mean, just like, yeah, whatever can make me better, I can get more outs. It really is a riveting documentary that they've done. And I look forward to them doing it. I mean, Hard Knocks is kind of worn thin with me. I don't think this would wear thin with me. I really don't. I think they could do every single team and I'd be invested in it.
There was some risk to that because the whole idea, the reason why the fastball gets hit the hardest and is thrown the most is because it gets thrown the most.
Right.
And it's thrown the most in order to set up the rest of the pitches. They got to a point as a team where they were throwing almost as many sliders as four-seam fastballs. And I reported last year that opposing hitting coaches were telling their players to sit slider against the Red Sox. And so
it's always chess, right? It's always chess. Like they're throwing more sliders, so now we sit slider. And it just the way that you watch it unfold with the staff when he's sitting there talking to his guys, and it's truly insane to be that close to the action. It's nuts.
And it makes the story of two Padres relievers even more fascinating. Robert Suarez and Jeremiah Estrada, both of whom at some points in their career, even as recently as last year, would go through long stretches where they throw nothing but fastballs. The piece that Dennis Lin wrote for The Athletic about Estrada and how the Cubs, used him versus what he's done with the Padres. And then Suarez went like a month last year without throwing anything other than a fastball. But this year, he's only throwing 50% fastballs and way more change-ups and sinkers, and has been very effective, as has the Estrada and the rest of that Padres bullpen. I thought, I don't know what your thoughts are on it, but the Padres bullpen has been just so good so far this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you're all one pitch, then there's no back and forth. I mean, just like the Red Sox example is like, if you do go hard on the slider and then you do see that people are sitting slider, you've pushed the story, right? You've pushed the aggression. You're the aggressor. So now that they're sitting slider, now I'm going to throw some fastballs, right? So, Suarez can do that better, and Estrada can do that better. If they're throwing these secondaries and, they get it closer to 50-50, whenever they think a hitter is sitting on one of the pitches, they can throw one of the other ones. And it's just less likely. I mean, I think what we saw last year with Suarez, he got so predictable, specifically against lefties, trying to throw that high fastball high and away, that we definitely saw hitters just basically, I don't know if they physically moved, towards the plate, but they anticipated that pitch and they put the right swing on the pitch. And so by going more 50-50, you make it harder for them to put the right swing on the right pitch at the right time.
Talking to Eno Sarris from The Athletic, little smart baseball. The Dodgers still very good, but I'm almost surprised that we've seen them have to reach so deep into their stable of pitching. We know it's almost limitless, but they had the kid who came up. What was his game name again?
Wisniewski or something, and then Knack
had to pitch.
Yeah, Robleski.
Robleski. And the fact that they've already in any way. Is that something that Dodgers fans and the team should be concerned about here early in the season?
It's one of my main trolls of Dodger fans, right? I did it last year, and that's why we have 14 pitchers. We're going to be so deep. And I said, there's something wrong in your organization. And you keep telling me that there's not, but everybody gets hurt all the time. And, I know people have written pieces about it. I think we've talked to you about it a little bit. What is happening there? And is that, like Ben said, is that something that they ultimately need to look at and find out what they're doing wrong?
I mean, there's two possibilities. One is this is a team that's run by a former Rays executive, and the Rays playbook was always to acquire players with injury risk and just have a lot of them and hope that they are healthy, enough of them are healthy at the right time. Because the players that you acquire that have injury risk, are cheaper. So, the Rays got Drew Rasmussen because he'd already had 2 TJs. He's an amazing pitcher when he's in, but he's been hurt. He's had another arm surgery since, and it's similar to, why was somebody like Tyler Glasnow even available?
Right.
Probably because he was getting more expensive, and the Rays had said, we have a lot of injury risk guys, but we can trade one away. The other part is they throw really hard. So if you think about Roki Sasaki, Blake Snell, and Shohei Ohtani, those guys throw really, really hard, and we know that there's a relationship between how hard you throw and stress. And there's a third thing, which is that, and this one's actually more nuanced, and I don't know that I'm 100% right on this, but like a lot of what they do seems to be to like limit the amount that these players pitch, right? So they go to 6-man rotations. They don't go that deep into the games, and they seem to really limit how many bullets these guys are using. But that can have an adverse effect, because if I'm going to run a marathon, I need to run 5 miles, 8 miles. I need to build up to it, right? And so there's a relationship between how much you train for bulk and how much bulk you can actually give. And so I'm not in their throwing sessions. I don't know their throwing plans, but it's possible they don't throw enough. And I'm saying throw, not pitch. It's possible they don't build up enough and they get in trouble that way, because the throwing at a low velocity and a low effort is like those training runs when you're trying to run the marathon, and you have to do that to get to the really acute stress of a big game. So, that could be something that could be a problem across baseball, and it's really nuanced to talk about, because I'm not trying to say that these guys are babied or that they don't pitch enough. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, like, we need to look at how much they throw and how much they build up, and if we're really dialing in, if we know they're fatigued that well.
I remember the time you ran a marathon through the winter meetings and then appeared on our show out of breath. That was really fun.
Oh, he had not built up.
Possible, because I run all the time.
Yeah. Well, you weren't built up that day. That must have been the very, very beginning of your excursion.
Actually, no, at the end of the winter meetings, I'm always torn down.
Yeah, fair enough.
You know what I mean?
Thank you so much. As always, we'll talk to you again next Thursday.
Thanks, guys.
Smart Baseball with Eno Sarris, brought to you by 7 Mile Casino. And the Padres have tried that strategy as well. The Rays' strategy of buying damaged goods, essentially, and hoping that, hey, if we get 5 injured pitchers and 2 of them have healthy seasons for us, boom, we just got a discount. But the Padres have tried that. I mean, Drew Pomeranz in the bullpen, Mike Clevenger they signed after the surgery to gamble on him didn't really work out very well. I don't know. Has it ever really... that strategy ever worked out for the Padres? They've kind of gone away from it a little bit.
They have
lately.
More just plucking guys from international leagues. Nick Martinez, and then of course
Kyle Hart.
Yuki
that's
Matsui.
the newer strategy. But it's been more successful than the let's buy low on the injured pitcher strategy that's never really worked for AJ Preller.
Yeah, I mean, and again, it's a volume thing, right? With the Dodgers, with the Rays, as you mentioned, truly they'll have 5-7 guys on the IL. But they got 2 guys coming off the IL, and it's just like this carousel. But again, just to hammer it home, if you have Netflix, go watch this thing. If you love baseball, to get behind the scenes, Benny.
What's the so how many episodes is it going to be? Have they all dropped?
They're
the
all
situation?
down. Yeah, Netflix
dropped
puts it
the whole
all
thing
out. Yeah, Netflix has got it all out. I started it last night, got through the first one. I actually
episode length about
an hour.
About an hour for each one.
It's called The Clubhouse, A Year with the Red Sox. Now, I was getting so fired up watching it, and I needed to go to bed, but I wanted to go hit off the tee after watching it. I just wanted to play baseball. There's 8 episodes, and I got through the first one. I had to physically say, don't start the second one because you're going to get wrapped up. It's going to be midnight, and you got a round table tomorrow. So it's so good.
There was a part of that piece that we were referenced that Dennis Lynn wrote about Jeremiah Estrada when he was with the Cubs, and I thought about those hitter meeting you were talking about from the show. And they told Jeremiah Estrada, we don't want you throwing the changeup anymore.
Yeah.
And then his catcher called for one, and he didn't know what to do. He was like, they told me not to throw this, and now you're saying, but let's do everything the catcher tells you, but don't throw the changeup. And then the catcher calls for a changeup, and he's like, I don't know, what do I do? What do I do? What am I supposed to do here?
It's so rad when they do they go through before opening day, and they have the entire Mariners thing, and they're going through it, and they're telling them how to pitch these guys. And then you see him go out and execute just like they told him to, and you're like, "Oh!"
Some of the analysis,
it's so
a
good.
guy like J-Rod, who is one of the stars of baseball. When you break it down, they're like, "This guy's really not that hard to pitch to," and you're like, "Wait, what?
Right?
No, he's elite. He is an elite hitter." And they're like, "Nah, he really just hunts middle
fastballs.
Throw him that two-seam inside. He can't touch you."
There's two kinds of elite hitters. There's elite hitters like a Luis Ariz who can hit anything. And there's the elite mistake hitters.
Correct.
So when you make a mistake, they will punish you so badly that it's worth it for the times that you get them out.
Manny Machado's probably in that category.
Yes, there's some
you know
holes
how to
in
get
their
Manny
swing.
out. You know how to get
for
Manny
him
out.
though.
But
It's gone.
You miss.
It's the
and they will
mistakes.
punish you badly.
It's so
we
good.
got an hour of our show to go before the roundtable, including the Reindl Report and more. Stick around. More Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. Final hour of Ben and Woods, followed by our roundtable pizza, Padres roundtable over in our sound space. It'll be good to see. Haven't seen Tony Gwynn Jr.
It's been forever
in a while because he leaves for spring training back in late February.
Yep.
And then have not crossed paths with him since the season started. So
I don't smell the roundtable yet. It usually starts wafting in here
9:30 to 9:45.
No,
it's so hot when we get it, so it can't be too early.
That's true. I get to have a piece today.
Good. You didn't have any last week.
No, because I had to go to the gym. And I went back-to-back days, so I don't have to. So I'm going to have a piece.
Not feel guilty.
I don't feel guilty even a little. Oh, my God. I don't feel even a little bit guilty.
Well, Roundtable Pizza is pizza royalty.
That's true.
And I know you weren't sure what the last honest pizza meant. I don't know if they do either. Sometimes those taglines don't really mean a lot. They're just something you're supposed to remember.
Something like Domino's and Woodstock.
Those are liars'
Luigi's.
pizzas?
Are they dishonest?
They're
pizzas?
liars'
The last
pizzas.
dishonest.
True. You
pizza.
are disparaging all other pizza.
Yes.
When you say you're the last honest pizza.
Honest. Is that?
Do you want your pizza to lie to you?
Kind of.
Kind of do.
I wish you're. No, I'm healthy. Eat me. Eat me. This isn't going to affect you.
No, you're not going to gain weight when you eat me.
No, have as much as you want. I do want a liar's pizza. I've just decided I will eat the roundtable pizza because this is very good, but I do want the liar's pizza. Lie to me.
Is this real news
I'm
in the
looking it
chat
up
from the
right now.
Goose? He's pretty trustworthy. It says Zach Hampel has been banned from MLB stadiums.
About time.
Wow. We
About
had the
time.
story this week. Zach
He's a
Hampel,
menace,
the ball
dude.
hawk,
He's a menace.
had one where he stole possibly a home run robbing catch.
Holy crap.
At the Tampa Bay Rays game. And
It's real.
so the MLB has had enough of
There's
his
a press
ball
release
hawking
from
ways.
the office of the commissioner.
What does it say?
It's fake.
Is it fake
It's
news?
fake.
Fake press release? People want this to happen
It's
so
fake.
badly.
That's fake.
He didn't break. I
It's
don't.
fake.
It's
Talking
fake.
baseball.
It's a John Boy parody. Talking Bossa Bell is what it says. It's fake.
Talking
Bossa
Bossa Bell.
Yeah, close.
Fake.
You almost got
That
us.
is fake. Yep.
Fake news.
Still April.
God, getting us in April.
Jerks.
I think it's a fine line. Technically, he didn't break any rules by reaching and catching that ball.
Nope.
It was going to leave. It was just across the barrier. You can, as a fan, interfere once it goes over the fence. I don't know. I mean, are you supposed to leave your seat as much as he does and move around the ballpark? I mean, I don't think there's any rule. They want you walking around to concession stands and stuff, but are you blocking the views of other people when you're in their section? He doesn't have a seat in every section, and he moves around a lot during the game.
Just a menace, man. Just a menace. He's a menace. He pushes little kids out of the way. I mean, he's just constantly going after baseballs, and I don't understand it. It's his bit, whatever. He has not been banned, so he will continue to do it. I do, and I did give him credit yesterday for being in the right place at the right time. Is he disturbing the peace, as Curtis said? If that dude was in front of me trying to get a ball, yes, I would be disturbed.
And, baseball teams are private entities.
Correct.
They can't just ban everyone
Right.
randomly. But if you feel like someone is
It's a menace.
impacting other customers, then you should have the right to say you are no longer welcome at
I
this
agree.
establishment.
I agree. Now, is what he's doing so egregious? Is he lighting smoke bombs and pipe bombs in stadiums? No, he's not doing that. But he is a menace. He's a menace.
Even if he was still a content creator and all of that, and just wasn't such a jerk,
right?
Like, we would be studying this guy.
Yeah.
You joked yesterday when we talked about it, like, he would have a job with a Major League Baseball team. He's really good at scouting.
He knows where the ball's going to go.
Deep flies are going to go.
Yeah.
But he's just such an unlikable jerk that you kind of forget all about that.
Yeah, that's true. You can get away with a lot more if you're a nice guy.
If his bit was, I'm going to make sure a kid leaves with a home run baseball every game I go to. Or
Now that's
like,
a
you know
good
what I mean?
bit.
Like,
Catch
that's a
one,
great bit.
Catch and release.
Yes,
Catch and release is a good bit.
Catch and release with Zach Hampel.
Yeah. I just, hey
But
man,
the self-entitlement, the video, like, was it the Rockies?
Yeah.
Where he was like screaming at this guy that's like, bro, you don't have a ticket here. You can't sit here.
Yeah.
You don't have a ticket. And he's like, well, I don't understand. And he was giving this guy such a problem.
Tony says, I see him in the right field mission all the time. He tries to appear nice. Yeah, again, I just feel he's been doing this for so long. I think the bit is tired. I think the shtick is kind of over. I think it's the Hawk Tua. You know, it's you had your moment, and it's over. As much as you would like Hawk Tua to last forever and ever, you wish that Hawk Tua was at every game. You know, maybe before the game, maybe after, maybe during a game. Doesn't last forever.
The 15 minutes are up.
Trust me.
15 minutes is fine.
15 minutes would be great.
Who says no?
5 minutes would be great. You know.
All right. We move on.
Hawk Tua is about to be on a documentary, I heard. We haven't done that in the Reindl Report.
Yeah, we did.
Oh, did we?
Yeah. Last week.
Were you not listening?
I guess I wasn't paying attention.
You weren't paying attention to everything Paulie said? You missed something, huh?
Well, I probably commented. You know my recall.
No, you did.
I'm in the moment, but once the moment's gone, it's gone.
It's gone.
You know that. I'm here. But after today, you ask me what we did, I'll have no idea.
I can't. I've found it harder to remember guests that we've had on the program.
Almost impossible.
And
Almost impossible.
I had one this morning and going, there's no way I would forget if we had this guest on ever.
Ooh,
but then
quiz me.
And then I had in my mind, no, we did have him on once at the old station, and I couldn't remember for sure. Paulie knows because he's got a younger brain, but I couldn't. Did we ever have Jim Nance on?
No, never had Jim.
Never had him on.
No.
So I maybe
feel like we did.
See, I thought in my head maybe we did one time have Jim Nance,
but Paulie would know.
But Paulie would know. I trusted Paulie's judgment more than my own on these.
Would love to, Jim. You have an open invite anytime.
God, anytime.
I know it's a busy week. This week,
yeah,
maybe next week we can catch up with him.
Yeah, I mean after Masters Week, really,
he's like retired. Right? That's all he does. Didn't he say he's retiring?
Football. He's retired from the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
Went as a fan, disappointed as Houston Cougars lost in the final.
There was a story. Did you guys see the story of the Florida student reporter that has been a Florida Gators fan her entire life?
This chick's getting
she's getting
dragged.
murdered.
Yeah.
Did you see this, Benny, online? So she is at the last game, the championship game, and she has grown up Florida Gators fan her entire life. And all she did when the last shot didn't happen, she filmed herself and she did this, like opened her mouth. That's it. There was no cheering. There wasn't, yeah, Gators. She's getting dragged by journalists everywhere for, quote, celebrating in the press area.
And cheering in the press box.
Talia Baya, University of Florida Journalism School. That's ESPN Gainesville student report.
And then when I tell you
stupid,
when I tell you that she didn't utter a sound, she just goes like this, like
showed emotion.
The rule is not there because you are supposed to have no feelings or opinions or give up all your childhood loyalties.
Right.
The rule is there so you're not constantly disturbing other people who are working next to you.
Correct.
The no cheering in the press box is not some sort of ethical, standard that you hold yourself to. No one wants to be writing a game story on deadline and the guy next to them every other play is going, yeah. That's why the rule exists. It's not some handcuff on, oh, you're not a real journalist because you're cheering in the press box. I promise you, when I'm up there and the Padres do something, I give a fist bump.
You got a problem.
You do?
Yeah.
You fist bump?
Yeah, I just don't scream and bother other people.
I didn't know you did that.
I just yeah.
Really?
Absolutely.
Because
I'm a
yelped.
Human being.
I yelped one time in there and the whole place was like the record scratch.
Other people, but if you quietly, like she was doing, like,
I think it was I'll never forget. It was Joey Lucchese pickoff. I went, oh, like that. Like I gave it Tony Gwynn Jr. I was like,
Now I heard Nance saying, in his career, he went to Houston, is a Houston Cougars fan, but he said, I had to stay neutral anytime I, did a game because, as a national broadcaster, you're doing the game for both teams. And you really have to keep that in mind.
He's an alum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he went to Houston. He was Freddie Couples' roommate at Houston.
So brutal.
They were talking about him on Saturday. I was watching the Final Four, and they showed him, like, walking in through the tunnel, and people are saying hi to him, and he's got all his red on, and they're talking about, like, hey, he's got a pretty big week with the Masters coming up, but if Houston wins, and they ended up winning, and they're playing on Monday night for the championship, he's got to go, right?
And he did. And he took his kids and he said, and I didn't have to be neutral.
He got to be a fan.
It was fun to go and be a fan and not have to be impartial because I was doing a game for both teams.
Because otherwise, he's probably in Augusta by Monday, right?
It happens.
Yeah,
For
Sunday,
Masters
probably,
Week, Sunday night.
It happens in the inverse too, where Pat Hayden was a quarterback for USC, and they had him on the Notre Dame broadcasts, and I could feel the hatred as I would expect it. Right, when he would call games, I would have to mute them because I'd be screaming and cursing him out the whole time. That's not smart. You can find somebody else other than a USC quarterback to call it. Now, it doesn't have to be Brady Quinn either, right? But how about somebody down the middle? How about somebody neutral? When I hear Joe Davis calling Padre games, I don't like it. I don't like it. You know.
Dan Fouts sometimes was a national broadcaster, would call some Charger games. I think he tried to. Yeah, it's tough because you have really good insight on those teams.
You do.
But you also know that they probably have a bit of a rooting interest as well. So.
I want to do a bit where I go to the press box and just cheer the whole game. I'd probably lose my credential.
You probably would.
Maybe on my last year, I'll do it. Just once Paulie gets on it. Paulie, you have to come with
ever
me.
Up there. I've
never
barely ever seen you in the press box.
I go to get a brownie sometimes because why not? Yeah. And a Coke. And then I call it a day and go to the bathroom. I use the bathroom up there quite a bit because it's there.
It's a good bathroom.
Yeah.
It's usually not too crowded.
Yeah. That's true.
It's a nice perk.
Very nice
press box.
See Jesse Agler in there sometimes.
Yeah.
I saw Joe Davis fixing his eyebrows in there one time.
Paulie did find a Throwback Thursday clip for us we can get to in our next segment. Let's just say 2 words: barbershop quartet. And also...
the Padres won. If you're seeing this wrong, your team got smoked. Yeah. That's right, the Padres won. The Padres won.
If you know, you know. Plus, Jim Bowden with some interesting details about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s new contract, which is officially announced. We can get to all of that coming up. Check the traffic. More Ben and Woods on the way on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3. The Fan. First, I'll tell you about SDFatLoss.com. Summer approaching. The weather is getting nicer. It's actually pretty warm in some parts of the county already. If you'd like to look your best in shorts and bathing suits and T-shirts this summer, lose the weight and lose it quickly. In 2 months, you can lose 10 to 20% of your body weight and up to a pound of fat per day by eating regular foods from the grocery store, not shakes or bars or mixes, and following the plan set out for you by your counselor at SDFatLoss.com. I did it. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days. Chris Ella did it. Matt Scraby did it. John Flint down the hall. We've lost hundreds of pounds in this building, and Tier 1s have lost thousands of pounds around San Diego. The program costs half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other programs. And to keep costs down even more, take advantage of the spring special right now by getting $200 off when you set up your free consultation at SDFatLoss.com. No exercise required, no injections or hormones or anything weird, just real sustainable weight loss. I've kept all the weight off and then some in the last year and a half. So go today, SDFatLoss.com, set up your free consultation at SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Colin heard the cue to call in and won the Padres tickets in our
Very
last
proud of
segment.
that one during the break, Colin.
Colin?
You're calling for the right reason. He loved it. He's so giddy. See?
Congratulations, Colin.
See how much you bring to the table?
So-
I would have
so
never
much.
thought of Colin calling for the right reason.
He did.
Give yourself a lot of credit there.
It's a minimal amount of credit on that one, actually. But we will have another pair of Padres Cubs tickets for the game, for the Aloha shirt Motorola giveaway game on Monday for you tomorrow. And we'll have that sounder for you again. But everyone else, sorry, Colin called in and got the tickets for today. Did you see the unique provision in the new contract that was announced for Vladimir Guerrero Jr.?
Yeah, a massive signing bonus.
So it's a $500 million deal.
Yeah.
But $325 million of the deal is a signing bonus.
That is insane.
Now, he's not getting it all,
Right.
like, sign it, and here's your check for $325 million. It's spread out over the course of the contract, so how is that any different from a salary?
Just manipulation?
So it is in a couple of different ways. Very clever. Give his agent some credit here. By making it a signing bonus is taxed where you live, not where you work. And in Canada, they get you on the taxes there. So in the signing bonus, he'll be taxed on wherever he lives in the off season. I don't know, Florida or Dominican or whatever. So he saves tax money there. Also, and this was pointed out as well, very smartly, I think I saw Jim Bowden pointed it out. If there's a work stoppage, like the CBA expires and there's a lockout, players don't get paid their salaries, but signing bonuses don't get affected by a lockout. They're already good to go. You're just paying them off in increments over the years. So he will still get his full signing bonus, even if there was a 5-year lockout, which of course no one wants to see anything like that, but that would not be affected on a signing bonus.
That's really smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
You wonder at some point who's going to test the limits and sign a guy to a $600 million contract with a $599 million signing bonus. It's like,
we're going to pay you $1,000, basically, is what this boils down to. $599.99 is going to be your signing bonus.
I guess you'd have to pay him at least the minimum salary every year.
$800,000.
But,
right?
For someone who, like Ohtani, who is dodging theoretically a lot of California taxes by getting his money later when he moves to Japan or somewhere else, why wouldn't someone just say, I live in Florida, Texas, wherever. It's huge signing bonus. My salary is actually quite small for you tax accountants in the state office. So
it's crazy, man. Like,
it's
how they all, because they all, a lot of these guys have homes and make their residences in
Arizona,
Florida,
Texas,
and Florida, where it's much better tax bracket.
Should you be allowed to do that? You're working for a California enterprise,
but you're a contract
California.
employee.
Yeah.
You're a contract. So, but hey, you know who else is a contract employee? Me.
Right.
My new address is my parents' address
in Texas.
Oh. I feel like I'd like to skirt the IRS more than I do. I do feel like I wouldn't. That's an organization I don't mind skirting.
Probably shouldn't admit that on the.
Well, listen, I don't. What I'm telling you is I don't. I'm saying I should more.
Well, now you better never accidentally do it.
So one year, this was many years ago, I accidentally didn't report what was it? It was some sort of weird
bribe or something.
No, it was. So Channel 10 was sold.
Right.
And they paid us out. And I'd only been working there for a couple of years.
Like vacation.
And there was like a pension.
Yeah, pension.
And I hadn't even thought about it. It wasn't a huge amount of money. It was
how much?
Like $1,500 that I accrued. So instead of just transferring over, the new company didn't have a pension. So they just paid it out to me. But it was separate. And I didn't even remember it. And I thought, I didn't. So I filed my taxes and didn't think about that $1,500.
Yeah.
I wasn't anything I was trying to cheat or anything. I just didn't realize it was part of it. And then I just later, like 5 months later, the IRS just said, "Oh, you forgot to put this on. Here's a bill." It wasn't like you're under investigation or anything. It's just you owe an extra whatever it was, $237 in taxes. Just send it here. It's like, so they do know.
Yeah.
Like when you don't pay. I thought, if you don't report it, I thought this was all on the honor system. Like whatever.
You're a sweet kid.
If you don't get,
they're watching
audited,
you, bro.
They don't know. So I mean, if you get audited, you're in trouble. But as long as you don't get audited and
you can skate through,
you can skate through it. But no, they do know what is supposed to be theirs.
Wow.
Even if you're not like specifically under investigation or getting audited.
Yeah, the company filed. It had a list of people it paid out.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Adam says if it's not cash, then they know. So
They
deal in
know,
cash.
yeah.
I'm gonna go ask Michael if he can start paying me in cash every other week, bi-monthly.
Nowadays.
I know it is. I used cash the other day at a convenience store, and the guy looked at me like I was an alien.
Young people, especially.
Yeah.
When you try to pull out cash, they give you the side eye.
Yeah.
At this point.
When's the last time you went to the ATM to pull out cash? It's been.
But then there's
forever.
also the places that still charge you extra for using
your card
for the credit card
I
fees.
know.
It's going, wait, you don't take cash, but you're going to charge me the extra for the credit card fee? Come on.
I know. Hopefully, we're going to get a big fat stack of cash out of that safe that your mom is planning on opening soon.
Right.
Do we get a taste, a cut? For all the
Don't
publicity
know.
we gave it?
I don't think the safe needed any publicity.
What about Tall Ron or whatever his name is? That's going to be
He
getting.
probably owes us a little
Yeah,
bit.
he owes us a taste. What am I going
All right.
What am I going to do with my cut? That's what I want to know.
Could be a lot, could be nothing.
Could be nothing.
Paulie, we got some Throwback Thursday for us.
Yes. So this
love
was
this
from
one.
a couple of years back. So tomorrow, actually, April 11th, is National Barbershop Quartet Day. And this was from a couple of years ago. Ben had, I don't think it was on the same day. I think he had recently told us, though, that his life goal at one point
When he was a kid, he was like 14. It was his mission. Mine was to French kiss a girl when I was around that age, maybe even second base at 14. Yours was to nail this song
by the Marcells.
By the Marcells.
1961 song by the Marcells.
So we played that. We had a ridiculous amount of fun with it.
So much.
but I wanted to take it a little bit step further. How can we have a barbershop quartet? Like we said earlier, there's only 3 of us. But what if I had 4 different Ben Higgins singing Blue Moon?
Ooh.
And I put it all together.
Oh.
And
is there a barbershop quartet setting or something you just slide the audio into? That's amazing.
Bump it, bump it, bump it, bump bump it, dang, 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 ding, dong, ding, blue moon, blue moon. Oh my God! Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue moon. Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue moon. Oh my God! Dip, 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 bump it, bump it, bump it, bump it, dang, 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 ding, dong, ding. Blue. Oh my God!
Now, I think traditionally you want people with different vocal ranges.
I heard 4 different. No, I heard 4 different ones.
You want some variety in your quartets.
I heard.
We had the original.
I heard loads of variety. Loads.
Dang, 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 ding, dong, ding, blue moon, blue moon, blue moon.
Oh my God.
Blue moon, blue moon, blue moon. Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue moon. Ben the tenor, Ben the baritone, Ben the bass. Ben the alto.
There's your tenor.
Blue moon.
Holy crap.
Well, it's funny because my unlikely music collaboration for this week's Daily Ditty, Ben Higgins and Paul Reindl on the controls over there. So we'll have our Daily Ditty coming up and then get into the show.
The Daily Ditty
Daily
Ditty.
Dang, 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 ding, dong, ding, blue moon, blue moon, blue moon. Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue.
Hear it?
Dip, 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 blue, 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 blue.
Now they need some work.
I
didn't say they were good.
No, you didn't have a lot of time to practice.
That's first. Imagine hearing that and thinking your only value is reading liners for your radio show. All right? It's just the most absurd. If I had an asp, I would hit you with it right now. Hearing that, it's just pure gold. And then
that was Paulie's gold.
No, that was your gold.
gold.
You coming to our show and going, yeah, you know, when I was a kid, I really wanted to nail this, so I practiced it all the time. It's like a treasure trove. It's just pure gold. And then singing it, it was just amazing. Oh, it was great. Love that barbershop quartet. I remember I tried furiously to get a real one in there. I could not find one. I emailed one. They're defunct. They broke up. Drugs, alcohol, sex, all of the
usual story,
the trappings of a band, lead singer disease, you know, all of it. And I just could not find one. I wanted one so badly. And still do. I still do. So if you know of any, you have to contact me ASAP. I'll find a spot for them.
We've got the Reindl Report coming up in our final segment. Yesterday was actually a day that basketball fans have been waiting a couple of months for since the trade deadline.
That was something.
Luka's return to Dallas.
That was something else.
Talk about that and more headlines with Paulie coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
7 Mile Casino has just about everything except for a barbershop quartet.
I was just going to say, the one thing that they could do to spruce it up would have a barbershop quartet there.
Actually, no, you know, they want you to be able to focus on your cards. That's why there's no slot machines. There's no smoke. It's simply a great haven for card players, even high-limit players. They're spreading great action at their California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em, Pai Gow, and Baccarat tables at San Diego's closest and best card room.
Absolutely, man. They got everything you're looking for at 7 Mile Casino, including a smoke-free environment, no slot machines there. It's for card players, and it's for people that want to go have a great time. Got a great patio. You can play for a while, go sit out on the patio, have an ice-cold one, looking out at the bay. They will take good care of you at 7 Mile Casino. There's a lot to love, certainly, but the proximity to downtown, it's just literally 7 minutes on the nose.
No drive, 45 minutes or more, and then drive back. Yeah,
Yep.
just make the short drive down the 5 off the Bay Boulevard in Chula Vista. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Since we're in the final segment of the show, I'm just going to ask you. I didn't want to bring it up earlier because I didn't want you to.
Oh God, what?
Well, I didn't want you to know that during breaks, I was clicking on just to see if I could watch a little bit of the early ESPN Plus streaming coverage of the Masters.
Yeah, well, I fully expect.
But every time I've tried to click on it, it's gone to the page, and then I just get the spinning wheel of death. And I wondered, have you asked the engineers to block my access or something somehow?
Yes,
to the
actually.
Masters, because I cannot watch any of it. I got
You're
scores.
joking.
No, it's every time I click on watch the Morikawa Scheffler group, it just spinning wheel of death every single time.
Before you got in, we actually went over to our engineer department and talked to JR, and we gave him your IP address and said block ESPN
Plus
or any Masters
coverage
content.
I promise you, on our friendship, I did not do that.
That would be. I was trying to avoid really looking at all during the show.
Now that would
be
be
breaks. That would be okay.
That would have been a funny bit, though.
Yeah,
for me to have that. I'm actually pissed. I didn't think of it.
And Steven Yeager leads at 4 under. Scotty Scheffler 3 under. The defending champ already alone in second place through 8 holes. Very good start for Scotty. But Rory hasn't even teed off yet. Xander hasn't teed off yet. Long way to go. Still first half of the first round at Augusta National.
What's your favorite day to watch? All of them?
Ooh. I think Sunday is still the best at the Masters.
Moving day is pretty great.
The back 9 on Sunday, just because there's so much movement, because there's so many holes where if you play it well, you can make eagles and birdies.
Yeah.
And if you make a tiny mistake, you can make a 9.
It's wild, too, the ability to score on the back 9 on Sunday. It's like,
you
hey,
shoot 31, you shoot 41.
They're like, hey, it's here for you. Do you have the temerity to get through this and go for it, really? And it's tantalizing. There's some back 9s of courses, and especially in a major like that, Benny, where you're like, I'm trying to just even par would be lovely on a Sunday.
And the U.S. Open is that way, which is fine. It's a different test of golf, but it's a test against par.
This is a test against your brain and your stones to say, I could score here on the back 9. Do I have the guts to do it?
Holes like 13 and 15, the par 5s, both very reachable. But if you make a little mistake, you go in that creek on 13.
Rays Creek, is that right?
Well, that's a tributary to Rays Creek. Rays Creek's the one that goes in front of the 12, the par 3.
Got it.
And then a little stream that goes off of it is called a tributary to Rays Creek. And then have the pond both in front of and behind 15. So you can go in, if you're short or long, that thing can roll all the way into the water. You got the water on 16 on the par 3 there, and then finish it out with the 18, which you have to carve a perfect fade it, tee shot up the hill, get it around those trees, and you overfade it. You're in those trees. We've seen that before. So there's plenty of spots for peril, but also plenty of birdies and eagles. If you hit the right shots, it's not that hard for pro players, at least,
you
to
can
give
move
themselves real opportunities to score. So it's always a good test on stuff.
Killing me that I'm not going to be able to watch. Absolutely decimating me. Couldn't get the old 9 o'clock game that day, huh? Nope. Got the old one.
Just play it in the dugout. Bring.
I don't know that is the right place.
Maybe watching a Padres game is okay, but
Padres game is okay.
Watching golf while you're trying to play baseball is not the best.
Yeah.
All right, let's check traffic one last time. Then Paulie's going to finish things up with his Reindl Report before our roundtable next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danek.
Traffic is sponsored by Jack in the Box. Crash involving couple vehicles northbound 805 before 43rd. They're over to the right shoulder. Also traveling on northbound 5 past Hawthorne. We have reports of some debris across lanes. And a collision on westbound 8 just before Marina Boulevard, a very tricky spot. A couple vehicles involved. That's in the center divide. You're going to want to sit down for this, the jumbo breakfast platter from Jack in the Box. No, seriously, it's so munch food. There's French toast sticks, grilled sausage patty, hash brown, and scrambled eggs, all for just $3.99. Get all this and so much more at Jack in the Box. I'm Kelly Danik with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a oh yeah? Oh yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Good morning, my friends.
Good morning, Paulie.
Hey, let's start off in the NBA. This game, for a regular season game, been circled on a lot of people's calendars ever since the trade went down in, God, what was that, early February?
Yeah.
The
Trade deadline,
Lakers trade.
Yeah.
So it was Luka's return as a Laker to Dallas. Now, the Lakers won 112-97 behind 45 points from your boy Luka Doncic in his return.
Got 31 in the first half or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
came to
was
play.
on fire. And you knew he would have a little bit more to prove in that game. I thought it was interesting. I wanted to get you guys' take, though. I'm sure you saw the clips. They did a whole tribute before the game to Luka.
Live, man.
He was emotional. He was fighting back. He wasn't really
fighting
back.
It's like
No,
Ben
was
in the 8 o'clock
It's like
hour.
Ben in the 8 o'clock hour.
Yes.
He's gaslighting the Mavericks into thinking.
They said, Luka, you do so much more than just pass the ball.
It was nice that they
No, I
did a
don't.
tribute, but also they knew it's a bad look because it's
Okay,
just,
that's what I
that's
wanted
the
to
scab,
say.
picking
All
the
right.
scab, picking
You
the
had-
scab.
you
You have to
traded
do
him.
it. You have to
You
do
have
it.
to. They had to. What
Yeah,
are they
so
gonna,
I don't
what is he
think-
going to come back and they're just going to ignore him like
Yeah.
he doesn't exist?
No, start guard
So,
number
okay.
45. Look at that. No, you
How
got
do
to
you
do
do
like
that,
a
though?
second out of the 5 and just real quietly.
How do you properly do that? Because
They did it.
you think so?
They did it.
Don't you think it's also a little bit weird to like have this tribute about what an amazing player you are and you're the best. You're the best thing this
No,
franchise has
because
had in the last 15
There's
years.
a phrase that applies here. It's
But we
called
traded you.
it's a no-win situation. And
I
the
think so.
Mavs were in a no-win situation last night.
Yep.
They don't do it. They get
You heard
ripped.
fired, Nico.
They
as
get
he's
ripped for
sitting
not
there.
doing it. They do it. It's a bad look either way. They could not win that situation.
I honestly look at its basis level. Professional sports is a business, period. They made a business decision, right? And again, there were probably some emotions involved with Nico trading him. We'd heard the rumors of conditioning and I don't know, like his attitude, whatever it may be. It's still a business decision you made. You traded him away. But that doesn't mean you don't appreciate what he brought to your franchise. You just didn't want to appreciate it beyond this season and beyond. So I thought they nailed it. The tribute video was extremely moving. I don't care. I couldn't care less about the Lakers or the Mavericks. And I watched that video. I was tearing up, man, watching him tear up, watching his, when he got drafted and everything else. It was fantastic.
If the Padres traded Fernando Tatis Jr. in a universally it was universally known as maybe the worst trade of all time.
Right.
I don't know how I would expect them or want them to handle his return to Petco Park.
Honestly, you better do exactly what the Dallas Mavericks just did. You better.
It's so different.
You're going to
than-
lose so many fans.
Like,
though.
it's not Luka didn't sign with another team as a free agent.
Right.
That's a different return.
Totally different.
This is nothing of his doing. He said at the time, I love Dallas. I never wanted to leave,
Yep.
but I don't have any choice. I'm going to Los Angeles. So, fans they wanted to express their love and thanks to a guy that they loved.
A lot of longtime Dallas sports guys that just absolutely adore the Mavericks and Luka. They were like, I don't know how you fans did it. I couldn't have gone tonight. They covered him every single day. Grew to fall in love with him. Yeah, it was a business decision. Now, only time will tell if it was the right one. Doesn't seem to be the right decision at all. But time will tell how that trade looks, and we'll know more in 5-10 years. But it was really emotional. Yeah.
Just 2 games left in the NBA season, in the regular season.
Thank God.
Lakers are 49-31, third in the West. But then the Nuggets and Clippers 48-32. The Grizzlies 47-32. They have 3 games left. The Warriors, who lost on a buzzer beater by former Warrior Harrison Barnes, they're 47-33. They'd be back in the play-in game all of a sudden. And the Timberwolves 46-33. So all of those teams just separated by a couple of games in the standings, from 3 to 8.
I think the Nuggies won their first game without their head coach last night.
Adelman, their new interim head coach, got a win last night against the Spurs.
Rick Adelman.
Yeah.
All right.
It's Adelman, isn't it?
I thought it was Adelman.
Cleat. I mean,
I thought it was Rick Adelman.
Rick Adelman, aren't they related?
They are. I thought it was Adelman.
I always thought it was Adelman. His brother coached at Maricosta.
Potato.
Yeah. Cleat
Adelman. You don't hear that a lot. Go ahead, Pauline. I wonder if they're related.
I can't remember if this was ever a don't do this story, but Ohio State.
Speaking of don't do this, what is happening right now?
Adam just lingering. What
just
do you want?
Lingering in here. We're doing it right in the middle of a radio show here. Oh man, what's happening? Bring me some pizza.
they just wheeled it behind you so you could smell it.
Yeah.
Saw Tony Gwynn Jr. walking by. Good to see him. So after Adam completely derailed us here, there are a couple of beat writers for Ohio State football who have been fired from their podcast job that they had for skimming money that was intended for athletes, according to this lawsuit.
Those
podcasters. It was written on Awful Announcing. So back on March 31st, these two guys, Austin Ward and Jeremy Birmingham, they are Ohio State beat writers. They had a podcast with all caps, the media. Makes sense that you're an Ohio State podcast. They were let go on March 31st. And their firings became public a few days later when their former coworker was on it says a subscriber message. So I don't know if that was Discord, Substack, Patreon, etc. But through a message, he started talking about what happened with these two guys. Everybody wanted to know where the new podcast would be. And he went and kind of said, they got fired. And there were rumors on message boards, social media that suggested that these guys had mishandled ad revenue for the podcast, and they denied it publicly. New court filing found this week says, no, that's exactly what they were doing. This is according to the lawsuit. Both Ward and Birmingham allegedly skimmed money from sponsorship and ad deals that was exclusively intended to compensate Ohio State athletes for appearing on the podcast. It also says the pair admitted in writing to pocketing a portion of those funds, with Birmingham specifically stating that after paying players, the leftover revenue was split between him, his partner, and an unnamed third party. So basically, long story short, two guys have a podcast. They interview athletes from Ohio State.
We'll pay you this.
They get, 7 Mile Casino says, here's $500 for these athletes, split it up. Thank you for coming on to the show. They were just putting it right in pocket.
This is why even college athletes need good agents. Agents sometimes get a bad rap. They're the seedy underbelly of sports, and they're all about the money and Bob Sugar. But a good agent is making sure you're not getting cheated as well. Because it's not. You can't expect even professional players to know they're dealing with podcasts and different contracts and stuff. And how are they ever going to know, the sponsor really paid $5,000,
right?
But he told me it was $4,000. They were just taking $1,000. How would he ever know unless an agent is looking over all the contract details and everything and making sure everything's on the up and up?
The media is accusing these two of civil theft, breach of contract, unjust enrichment, and in one of their cases, computer trespass and invasion of privacy.
A good agent also just sends you random memes and TikTok videos to your Instagram all day long. And
what are you talking about here?
And that's pretty much it as far as contact goes. Just different, for example, I'll show you the ones from yesterday that came to your old pal Woodsy, San Diego's concierge. Got 3 different ones yesterday. Here we go. Got I remember this kid. What a cool story. I don't know. And then Mike Trout prospect dugout picture, and then moms of the MLB.
Oh,
okay.
Maybe show content.
Maybe
No,
not.
We didn't bring
Maybe.
up any of those things today.
Correct. That's also a good agent does that.
Yeah.
I didn't even get any of that. So.
You don't even get that.
You don't even get that.
I don't even get that.
Would you know if you did?
No. Probably.
Correct. Do you follow each other? Probably not.
I follow him on Insta.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't check always my Insta messages though, so
probably smart.
And then finally, gentlemen, it is the 30th anniversary this year of this sound. Do you remember this sound when you were booting up a computer 30 years ago?
Oh yeah.
Windows,
yeah.
It was like the original
I
Windows
remember that for sure.
sound. Did you know that Brian Eno produced that
Oh, wow.
sound? He made that sound. Microsoft commissioned Brian Eno to create the Windows 95 reboot chime that you just heard. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because that soundbite was recently placed into or archived into the Library of Congress's National Recording Registry, which by definition is a list of sound recordings that are culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant and inform or reflect life in the United States.
Yeah, that's one of them.
And that is, I think that's a good call.
Really good.
It also went
How much
along.
do you think you make for that? Hey, one of Brian Eno,
Brian Eno,
world
you
famous producer.
Microsoft money.
What'd that take? 30 seconds? Ring, ding, ding, ding.
That's who Eno Sarris is named after.
Yeah.
Brian Eno.
That's true.
Yeah.
Is that
Produced David
more or
Bowie,
less famous though than the "You've Got Mail"?
You've Got Mail's very
sounder
famous.
from AOL.
That's a
You've
good
Got
one.
Mail. That
Now-
belonged to Elwood Edwards. He
did that
actually
one?
recorded.
You've
that.
Got Mail.
I wonder how much he made for that. Probably less than Brian Eno did.
Probably.
I would just assume so.
I'm paying you $100 for that. That's it, right? Give me $100.
No,
Ben, it took him
Brian Eno.
It
I
took him
guarantee
7
you get at
seconds.
least 5 figures.
5.
Yeah, 10,000 minimum.
All right, we got to figure that out.
Some of the other inductions to the 2025 Library of Congress National Recording Registry are Tracy Chapman's self-titled debut album,
Okay.
Elton John's Goodbye Yellow Brick Road, Back to Black with Amy Winehouse,
Okay.
Miles Davis's Bitches Brew,
Yep.
and the Hamilton cast recording, original cast recording, and then also
The Ben Higgins Barbershop Quartet version.
we're hoping for 2026 actually on that one.
Please submit it.
Chuck Thompson's radio broadcast of Game 7 of the 1960 World Series.
Sick.
Was that the shot heard around the world?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
I would like your stomach gurgles to make it into. Would also be hot beef, bloody beer, all of them.
Hot beef.
Would- that
Hot
should
beef.
absolutely
Into the
be in the-
registry, get him in,
the
get it in there.
Smithsonian.
If it's not, it should be.
Thank you, Paulie.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it. Let somebody find out how much Brian Eno was paid for that. Because if it's more than $100,
Michael, I don't know where he gets his money in the chat. His info. $35,000 is what he says. A couple
35
people
grand.
have confirmed that. 35,000. I was right. 5 figures.
again, in the wrong business. 35 grand for ding, 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 ding. That's it. You're done.
Yeah. Good day's work. Good.
A simple Google
Good
search
hours
does
work.
all confirm. Yeah, $35,000 for a 3.25 second clip.
They used it a lot, though.
They did,
Every
they did.
computer in America.
Does he get
essentially.
royalties for every time?
No,
somebody
I think it was a
rebooted
one-time flat fee.
Like Michael Buffer. Look.
We got to boot up the roundtable coming up next. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us. This show returns tomorrow at 6 a.m. Paulie, enjoy not being on the roundtable.
I
today.
will.
We don't have enough chairs for you.
Enjoy.
But Woodsy and I will be back in just a moment here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.